Start streaming. I'll be in 15 minutes. Hopefully it should work. And if we go to play, custom. Yeah, so we'll be live in 15 minutes, so people will be hearing us now. Can you see my
Awesome.
pixel board?
No.
Oh.
I just see... Wait. Yes, now I can. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me.
Okay, you can see it, cool. No games to spectate. I'm gonna ask for a fix. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've got free up now. Wait, let me see if I can join any of them. Don't have access. Don't have access. Don't have access. Cool.
So
well, for anyone,
whose game are we getting?
No idea yet. It's not been like fully scheduled.
Sick.
While we're waiting, I'll get us in a test game, and then we can set up the overlay. So we can put my camera down here. Your camera in the top corner. You want to make your camera wider? Because right now you're a bit small.
Hold on. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. I will stretch you out. Nice. Oh, if you want, I can screen share the OBS so that you can see what you look like on camera too.
See the gasoline shirt?
Right. Is that working for you? Oh wait, no, it's showing a white screen. Why? Yeah, I'll just screen share Pixelboard. Maybe I should put on music now that there's. Is there any music?
There's the SFX.
We got some Pixelboard music in. And then can quit. Oh no! Don't quit the whole thing. I thought it was quit to main menu, Pavel. Why do you do this to me? Okay, let's get back to a spectate. Okay, someone's joined a match. Okay, I've got our match. We're in table 4. Okay, Ruby Amethyst versus... Oh, we got the Green Fossa match!
We got Green Fossa.
Dude, it's Destiny.
It is Destiny. Oh, that's incredible.
And it looks like the list is running Kuzco and Mad Hatter.
Yeah, it looks like he might be going. Maybe he's a just-in-time list, or he's really just trying to put a lot of strain on Doc's ability.
Yeah, just like really focusing on that 3 to 5 ramp path so you always get good value.
I mean, I could see a list like maybe opting not to play the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, and that's just fun to say, and
Yeah,
running
right?
like just in time and Doc to like guarantee that you're getting a 5 drop out early, and it just becomes one of those like Bjornfoot Especials, that high 5 style deck.
Yeah, no, I love the just-in-time stuff, especially when Specky first showed it to me, like back in October, I think.
I mean, this is
Oh,
definitely the matchup that Green Fossa wants to see, though. They want to be against this Ruby Amethyst deck because they can just race them before they be prepared.
yeah, and judging by the dragon, this is probably a very control-oriented version of the list. I don't think a tempo version of the list would opt to run dragon.
Yeah, 9 drops are not where you want to be against a deck that's questing for 3 with every character in the deck.
Yeah, by the way, if you want to cast the whole thing, Fnatic's feeling too tired, so they've pulled out.
Okay,
Sounds good.
I'm down, clown.
Do you think they're even running Ray if they're running Mad Hatter and Cuzco?
I would hope that they are. Wow, he's got some interesting choices here. He's got the Peter Pan, I'm assuming, to try to deal with opposing minis.
Peter Pan is basically like the fidget of Emerald, right?
Yeah, it's carbon copy for what Fidget is. Um, the only downside is the 2 health. You know, with cards like Teeth and Ambitions, you kind of just pray that they don't have it.
I mean, back in set 1, I advocated against running Peter Pan in the Emerald Amethyst list, which was the first deck I played with. But I do think, as a specific use case against Ruby Amethyst, other than Teeth and Ambitions, being able to challenge Minnie Mouse is really nice. I mean, it's the same reason you run the 2-drop 3/2 Evasive Killer in Steel Sapphire.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so Mini is obviously a problematic card of the format. Pongo was already played a lot in set 1 as just this threat that you couldn't necessarily deal with, that was reasonably cost, reasonably statted. We got answers to it, but then Red also got Teeth and Ambitions. It's like, did they really get an answer?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how all of the problems that Ruby Amethyst seems to create, it also seems to solve with future cards. So it'll be really interesting to see in set 3 if the power imbalance will shift towards some other ink types.
So it does look like Red Purple got to be on the play, and they've gone Olaf. And Green Fossa said, cool, I'll raise your Olaf with Triple Stitch.
Yeah, and what's great about this for the Emerald Amber player is that they've sort of flipped the tempo now by being able to play 2 cards in 1 turn as opposed to just the 1 Olaf. So it's almost as if they're on the play now.
Yeah, this Fox is going to get a massive amount of value. I would expect that the way that the first 2 turns have sequenced out, that both of them have committed multiple 1-drops to the board. We're going to play a very low resource game, which would theoretically favor the red-purple player, being that they have so much draw in their deck.
Yeah, but maybe with the high amount of questing early on that we have available to the Emerald Amber player, with Doc being able to ramp out in Mufasa or Array on 5, they will be able to outpace before any of those draw effects can take hold of the game. Especially with a Tremaine on curve that's usually to sort of slow down that game plan. With such a wide board, as long as there's always one piece of fodder left around, Tremaine won't have a large effect.
Yeah, I wonder what Uzma Kappa has decided to have as his high-end drops. I hope he still has things like the Surfer Stitch and the Genies to flip off the Mufasa. If he ever keeps 2 characters in play and we get to turn 6 and Flaxel ends up dropping this Tremaine, if he flips a Surfer Stitch and draws 2 cards, I think the game's probably over from there.
Yeah, and if we are left in a situation where we only have we're only able to put 1 card on board, then we can just play the Mufasa, so the effect of Tremaine is heavily diminished.
So it does look like he does have the Rays too. So he's really gone heavy into the 5 drops. I've seen Mufasa, Ray, Mad Hatter, and Cusco. which leads me to believe that maybe he cut some of the more higher top end cards like Surfer Stitch, maybe even Genie, as we've yet to see either of those cards.
Honestly, after having seen people play around with the deck more, after our, the release of that snapshot of the list, I think it probably is correct to move away from the Surfer Stitch. I found in further testings of the game that the Surfer Stitch didn't have impact in, being able to refuel our engine to win games, as the effect almost never procced.
Whoa, Flaxaw's got a spicy pick here, which I'm assuming is probably most likely for the mirror in Pan's Shadow. Converting your Mauis and your Foxes into evasive killers to deal with opposing minis is such an awesome. It also serves as minis 5, 6, and possibly 7, depending on how many he's running, as it is just another evasive threat that quests for 2.
Yeah, I've really liked the inclusion of Peter Pan's Shadow ever since Moyen ran it in their list in the tournament 2 weeks ago. I think especially paired with certain rush cards like Maui to stay alive after a favorable trade, and Scar to clear a wide board of evasives. There's just a lot of value in that sort of card in such a evasive heavy meta.
So it looks like we're hitting that pivotal turn 6. We can get 2 clears and a Tremaine to clear one of the other cards. It's just a matter of what is he going to flip off of this Mufasa. He is going to have the Tremaine protection, though, with the Hades.
Yeah, they might choose not to flip the Mufasa, especially with such a wide board that they can clear with. It would be better for them to leave the Hades as fodder, so that they have to exert the Mufasa and... Sorry, banish from Mufasa and whatever comes after it's been banished.
Well, he's opting to take the Mufasa out first. If he does have Surfer Stitch, and he hits a Surfer Stitch here... No, it's a Flynn Rider. That's not what you want to see off of Mufasa trigger.
Absolutely not, because even if they trade into it with the Peter Pan Shadow, not only will they lose the Shadow, but they'll have to discard one of their quite pivotal cards from their hand.
Yeah, I think red-purple, I think in this position, getting that Ursula down is going to be one of the most important cards. Once the Ursula comes down, green-yellow does not have a way to deal with that card. It's just going to quest for 3 every single turn and try to race you.
I think if Ruby Amethyst player...
He's got a lore lead.
Does have a lore lead, and if a Ruby Amethyst player was forced to trade the Shadow, then they wouldn't have the evasives to deal with a card like Ray.
Oh, the synergies. Seeing Fox with evasive is probably one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. They get to choose exactly where their 4-3 trades into without giving their opponent the option to clear it the turn after.
So he is opting to discard the goat here, recognizing that he needs to maintain a clear board state to come out victorious in this game.
I think the only way they're punished here is if they draw into an uninkable and have nothing to play except a Tremaine, and then, it delays them getting to the Ursula by a turn.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the trade with the Peter Pan Shadow. If you know that your opponent is playing things like Ray, that card's just way too valuable with Fox in play.
Yeah, I agree.
I understand his...
I think if they had instead bounced the Peter Pan Shadow back to hand when they played down the Fox and reset the damage counters to keep it up as a threat to Ray, I mean, they've gotten around it by removing this Ray with the Tremaine, so I think they could be punished if the Green Faster player had another evasive to play on board along with fodder, but in this case, they're fine.
Yeah, I don't know that taking the 1 from the Hades was correct. Knowing that your opponent's on 6... Yeah, you have to expect the Lady Tremaine. You want to protect that Ray at all costs. Imagine if he didn't quest for that 1 and got the 3 quest off. Instead, he'd be at 11, and he could have just played the Flynn to, possibly be another backup. Keeping that Ray on board as long as possible, I think, was his way to win this game.
For sure. I think a lot of it we have to be aware of as well can come down to just how the level of stakes that are at this tournament. It's a lot easier to make simple mistakes like forgetting to play around a Tremaine and wanting to quest for that 1 extra lore, like the kind of autopilot you might play on the ladder when there's such a high amount of pressure to win these games, both for the glory of proving an untested deck and for hopefully winning some money on the side.
Now, normally we've seen Hades loops be something that's very, very good against the red-purple decks. However, in this instance, when you're staring down 7 lore on your opponent's side of the board, knowing they're going to win in 2 turns and no way to clear their board, Hades is not necessarily where I want to be. I think that this queen might have given a better possibility to, clear some of this stuff off the board. And yep, we're going to get the concede there.
And that is, do you think that if they had played around the Tremaine properly, that this game could have gone down differently with the Ray still on board?
Oh, absolutely, because he was at 8, he would have went to 11, and if he would have just played Tremaine fodder for, 2 turns, he goes up to 14, then 17, the Ursula still comes down, he goes to 16, but he still wins that race. As long as he's able to commit at least 1 to 2 other things on the board per turn, I think that Ray would have closed the game out.
Well, it's a really interesting thing to keep in mind there, that those small optimization decisions can have such a large snowball rolling impact on the game.
I know for me personally, when I'm playing against red-purple, like, I always think they have Tremaine, regardless of how many copies they're playing in their hand or in their deck. Like, I play around it. I probably play around it too much. Like, I will make unoptimal plays just to not get got by the Tremaine.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, because especially, I mean, unlike this format, you shouldn't be making those mistakes, because top 8 is an open deck list format. Everyone has access to the full lists of opposing players. So if you know that they're running a 2 copy of Tremaine and they've already exerted their 2 uses, then you shouldn't be playing around it. But when it comes to playing in Swiss and playing on ladder, and it's all closed deck list, then you have simply no idea how many Tremaines they could have, so you should probably always be playing around up to 4 copies, even if it's common to play only 2 or 3.
Wait, we're still talking about red-purple, right? Playing around 4 copies? You're playing around, like, 16 copies because of Fox and Snake. I literally...
Well, I mean, I would hope that you're keeping track of which copies are bounced into hand and not getting an accounting error. I wouldn't want you in charge of my business, mate. You might be duplicating some charges and wages to yourself.
I mean, the way that I lost top 8 last night in the 1K that I played was quite literally my opponent's last 2 cards being Tremaine Snake. And I played Bell Beast, and he goes Tremaine, Snake the Tremaine, play the Tremaine. And I mean, that was like, what are you going to do? Yeah,
I mean, there's just simply nothing you can do in those situations, right? While we are waiting for the next game, I'm going to send a quick tweet out to say that we're casting the match. Would you like to entertain stream for a moment?
Would you like me to dance?
Oh, please.
I'm not a very good dancer. One thing I can say is, look at this amazing shirt. This is the OG VHS cover of Beauty and the Beast printed on a t-shirt. How amazing is that? I have a pretty vast collection of Disney apparel that I did not own before Lorcana came out. I don't see any of the other match results coming out yet.
So I've just refreshed, and looks like the next game's up. So we're going to join. Oh, don't have oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, we do have access to the game now. Okay, we've missed a couple of turns.
Already underway.
Yeah, but we're coming in here. It's 6-2. Tinkerbell's out on the board. Ruby Amethyst has developed some draw and board presence. We're probably going to try and catch up on lore with a goat or clear a threat with a Maui. I think with Snake in hand, you do definitely go for the goat play, don't you, to try and race in lore.
Are you really racing a Tinkerbell, though? Probably.
I mean, if we have no other way to clear the Tinkerbell, I think we have to. Unfortunately, we don't have the, help of Peter Pan's shadow to make our Maui target the Tinkerbell.
With double goat and a snake, I think it's a very real possibility that you're able to race. This genie is definitely going to provide a little bit of tempo, but if you just go goat here, that's not the card you want to be bouncing.
I feel like if you ink Maui and then just go Goat plus Olaf for a wide board with extra quest.
I wonder how many copies of Pan Shadow he's playing, because that would determine whether or not I want to ink this Maui or keep the Maui. If he's playing 3 copies, there's some consideration for just inking the Olaf and just playing a goat. He's going for draw. I think he's trying to find Be Prepared to really gain a foothold back in this game.
Yeah, I think that is probably the line you want to go for, especially if they set up a board full of evasives that are just questing over and over again. Luckily for Uzma Kappa, they are playing on the draw here, so they start with the tempo advantage, and it's a deck that can very easily maintain the tempo advantage, just putting a bunch of cards out onto the board with effects like evasive to keep questing safely.
This Tinkerbell might just go the distance. Not having an answer for this Tinkerbell, it's had to have quested for what, at least 6, maybe even 8. There's the Be Prepared, so we've got 1 turn.
Is it enough? With 6 lore on the board, soon to be 5?
I don't think it is.
Looks like they're searching for an answer.
Yeah, Be Prepared's going to come out next turn. Okay, staving off a little bit of the bleed. Going to 16 versus 17 and just losing to a Cusco. I hope that Uzma Kappa recognizes that his opponent's drawn multiple cards here and is a turn away from Be Prepared and doesn't commit any additional resources to the board. But Flaxow putting the mini out there is that's an indication that he maybe doesn't have Be Prepared. Is this just a bait? Oh no!
Ooh, committing the Ray.
Oh no!
They really didn't need to commit the Ray.
So we're gonna see a quest for 5 here from Flaxow and a Be Prepared, and then you've got to be worried about the Tremaine.
Yeah, you have to play. Not only do you have to play around the Tremaines, you're likely to hold Genie in hand, but if you delay and hold Genie in hand, then you're getting them closer and closer to Dragon. We really wanted to be in a position here where we could just drop down Ray.
Yeah, I think you just play the Flynn here.
Yeah, I think this is the best
play. You draw another inkable card for next turn.
And then whatever they play, you can bounce back with Genie. Then that gets taken out by Maleficent Dragon. And then you can't bounce the Dragon back with Genie because they'll just play it again. So you could just... I believe you can choose to not use the Genie effect, right? Like, it's not mandatory.
Right. You can choose whether or not you want to bounce or not. That is not a card you want to bounce.
It's not a card you want to bounce, but it's not a terrible bounce right now, because it allows our Flynn to stay alive as a questing threat. To threaten lethal.
That looks like it's going to be it. He can only deal with one of these threats. One will live, and he is at 18, and both of those characters quest for 2.
Yeah, I think that's game.
Through all the lines. Yeah, he's going through all the lines trying to determine if there's any way he can either win or somehow deal with both of these characters, and I don't think it exists.
I mean, that really is just the power of Green Farsa into the Ruby Amethyst matchup, isn't it? Assuming that Ruby Amethyst is making Steel players not want to play, you can just cruise your way into the top 8 and then hopefully beat out the heavily Ruby Amethyst top 8.
Yeah, so the Ruby Amethyst decks are beating most of the Steel decks in a lot of cases, just due to sheer card quality and Be Prepared. But if Green Yellow goes through an event and doesn't see Steel, I feel like Green Yellow can just completely demolish an entire top 8 that is predominantly red purple players.
Oh, absolutely. I think the only downside of this is that these games are ending so quickly, we're not going to have anything to cast for the rest of the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we can only hope that the rest of the matches aren't a bunch of red purple mirrors that are going to go for 40 minutes.
I mean, a little birdie told me, and by little birdie I mean screenshot of a spreadsheet, that the top 8 is actually quite diverse in stark contrast to the last major beastie tournament.
Well, that's what we want to see. I know that the recent stats from Pixelborn came out, and while Red Purple is still the most played deck by more than double the second, it is currently sitting at a 44% win rate, which is exactly what we want to see.
I mean, that is what happens though when a deck gets wide adoption and everyone starts playing it, because as much as people who hate meta decks would like to imply, every deck does take skill. So if more people come onto a deck and it gets more popular, it will lower the win rate.
So we do see a really, really cool line here from Uzma Kappa, having the ability to go 1, 2, 3, 5, and also having the Simba for protection on the dock means that he might get additional activations out of it. But it looks like he's electing for the Flynn Rider instead to maybe start tearing apart at that hand.
I think I would have preferred the play you suggested to a degree, because we do have the ability to dock into Mufasa on turn 4, and then on turn 5 we can again dock into Mufasa, and then hopefully have leftover ink for a 1-drop.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime you can leverage the Simba to protect Doc and get multiple activations out of Doc, not only is he going to help you cheat on, some of the 5 costs that you have in the deck, but he also just quests for 2. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and protecting a quest too is really strong, but I suppose also getting some discards into Ruby Amethyst and hoping they can't ink properly to their major turn game-winning cards, and those breaking points like 6 ink, 7 ink, 9 ink is quite beneficial as well.
Yeah, so Uzma Kappa doesn't know this, but we can see it here that our opponent just has so much draw capability. I mean, you never want to look across the table and see Red Purple with 8 cards in hand.
Absolutely not, because you have absolutely no hope that unless they have about 4 Be Prepareds in their hand, that they're going to be unable to ink to 7.
So it does look like, this Flynn Rider, he's going to get in there for at least 4. And at some point, he's still going to force them to discard a card.
I think Doc's going for the ramp into the Mufasa on the board, which is some very nice staying power.
So from Uzma here, I don't understand inking the second Simba over the 1-drop Stitch.
Yeah, I think it's because maybe they're wanting to save a 1-drop for Tremaine fodder later. Maybe if they wanted to do Genie plus Stitch.
That makes a lot more sense.
And Simba's very strong, but this turn we're gonna lose both of the cards that Simba would have been aiming to protect anyway. Like Mufasa, if it dies, you spawn another card, and Genie and Tinkerbell are evasive anyway.
So it looks like Flaxa is opting to take out the Flynn here. I don't think you can let that 2-drop quest for 6 over the course of this game.
No,
Take
you
your
absolutely
lumps,
can't.
discard a card. And he discards the Ursula.
Very interesting. I would have thought Ursula is the card we were aiming to reach, and instead discard a Maleficent that we're unlikely to play within the course of this game.
Flaxa was just saying, you know what? I'm going to continue to play these cards that attack into your cards and passively gain me lore in the process.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing for Flaxo, but Uzma Kappa says, hey, I'm going to play an evasive. You can't trade your Merlin into my evasive. And once you've cleared the Mufasa, I have Stitch for Tremaine fodder.
We got to hope for a big hit here. Big hits, big hits.
Right, what are we going to see? We want to see a Surfer Stitch. Probably not even in the list, but something big. Mad Hatter.
Okay. The goat can just get rid of the Mad Hatter, but it is going to allow Uzma Kappa to draw a card. And it's a Cusco.
Ooh. That's pretty amazing.
This Tremaine is still going to come down this turn and take out the Stitch, and he's going to be left with a Tinkerbell. which means this Cusco. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say this Cusco might go the distance, but there's a Maui.
Maui is a very efficient answer to Cuzco. In the control matchup, you are absolutely happy to trade a 5-drop for a 5-drop, as it gives you more time to ink into your cards but can swing the tempo like Maleficent Dragon. Top
And another Mufasa off the top.
off the rip, mate. Every card he needs. He knows Cuzco's not as good as playing Mufasa because Mufasa is way stickier, especially with the chance of there being a Be Prepared this turn.
So Uzma Kappa recognized that potentially in the game 1 match where he opted to quest for the 1 and ended up losing a premium target to Tremaine, he's opted not to turn that Stitch sideways to guarantee that he has the fodder to not lose one of his premium targets.
And luckily for Uzma Kappa, it seems Flaxo is not even running any copies of Teeth's and Ambitions, which would be the one card that could efficiently counter this Tremaine fodder strategy.
Yeah, so Teeth and Ambitions has done a couple of different things to the current meta. You've seen a move away from X2s to X3s because the card is so incredibly powerful. Once that happens and you have a bunch of X3s, now Teeth and Ambitions is not great. I think it's going to be one of those cards that is going to be cyclical in how it's going to affect the meta. Because once people stop running Teeth and Ambitions, oh, now these X2 start coming out, which then in turn makes Teeth and Ambitions a little bit better.
And it's honestly the perfect thing you want to see in a card game, especially a physical card game where card releases aren't happening as often as a digital card game. So to keep the meta fresh, you need these innate cyclical design aspects that allow you to always, have a sort of skill expression in predicting the meta and what sort of tech choices and core cards you'll bring to a tournament.
Kappa's just got 5 in play. He's just going to go to 16, and he's got the tempo play on the Genie.
Oh, that is beautiful. Getting rid of the Peter Pan Shadow to protect the Tinkerbell from a Maui rush. Oh, just love to see it.
And he's even just got the Cusco in hand for the post Be Prepared.
I mean, that's amazing. Cusco can't be Maleficent, but it can be Tremaine. So unless they find fodder and there's a Be Prepared off the rip.
Yeah, Cusco was one of those cards in set 1 that was like that's not going to do it. The rabbit is not going to do it. Cusco was one of those cards in set 1 that you held until after the Be Prepared, and you played it, and your opponent just had no answer for it. It was just an absolute, 3 lore, and also when you do deal with it, it's going to deal with whatever dealt with it. But with the inclusion of Lady Tremaine, I haven't seen a whole lot of Cuscos seeing play, but I really do like it currently in Uzma Kappa's list.
I mean, yeah, I love Cusco. I have very fond memories of the card. My first day ever playing Lorcana, I played an Emerald Amethyst list. I had no idea what Be Prepared was. When I got hit with it, I was like, wow, I hate that card. And when I looked at Cusco, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just play this after you play that, and then I win anyway. Really enjoyed the simplicity.
Flips a ray off of Mufasa. He just has a casual 8 in play. There's no Be Prepared in hand. It looks like Uzma Kappa's going to take down red purple.
Yeah, this is GG. This is 2-1. They have no way to clear the evasives off the board. They got a rabbit off the rip. They needed to Be Prepared, and that is a concede. Green Faucet is going to the semifinals. Are you a proud father, RMB?
I feel like my child just absolutely killed their solo in the choir performance. You love to see it. Red Purple has been beating up on the format for far too long now, and the fact that Green Fossa is just out here saying, you know what, Goat's a fair card, but you know what's a more fair card? Mufasa. You love to see it. Did I lose you?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. I was muting someone asked who you were, and I typed it in chat. Let me repeat everything I just said for any of you who aren't lip readers. It is always great to see a rogue deck in the top cut, but not only is it a rogue deck, it is a rogue deck that was crafted by R&B, that we optimized and tested together, released to the public, and now we're seeing that child take down its first top cut win. Oh, it's an amazing feeling, isn't it?
It feels so good. It feels so. For me, red purple is obviously public enemy number one. So anytime we can create a deck that has a positive matchup against it, and just it just feels so good. It feels so good to see that this individual had a really good performance in the Swiss, possibly dodged a few of the bad matchups for it. You know, the steel based decks. Hopefully played against red purple all day long, made it into top 8, takes down a red purple in top 8 to go to the semifinals. You know, if he just faces red purple for the rest of top 8, I think we could see a green Fossa first place, which I think would be amazing for the meta. It would give people hope that, hey, being creative is still a possibility.
It's always
still
worth
cards
it.
that can be played. Yeah. I'm sad that he cut the Pain Panic package though, because I just love those cards so much.
I absolutely love the Pain and Panic package. I imagine the reason they cut it was probably just to lower the amount of uninkables so that they could fit in Cusco.
Yeah. I mean, Cusco is still a good card. Fox, man. Fox being able to take out both Mad Hatter and Cusco was the only reason why I didn't include them. So, like, I looked at Ray as kind of the replacement for both of those cards just because of the fact that it is evasive and still quest for 3. Like, the effects of both Mad Hatter and Cusco are still very good. Don't get me wrong. But Fox, man, it's just such a pushed card with its stat line.
Yeah, I mean, Fox is insane. It can trade up into so many powerful cards, and for basically no cost. Like, bouncing a card to your hand, that's a benefit in most cases. But, to give you some more info, Green Fossa yesterday for the Swiss went 8-1, so they only had one loss, which I imagine was to some sort of steel deck. And then for the rest of the top 8, they've just taken out a Ruby Amethyst. There are 2 more Ruby Amethysts in top 8, but then there are also 2 Amber Steels. No, sorry, 3 Amber Steels and a Blue Steel that they have to contend with.
Yeah, so the Amber Steels are going to be a little bit rough just due to, you know, 1-drop Cinderella, and then leveraging your song tools like Strength of a Raging Fire, as well as Let the Storm Rage on. You know, those are not the cards that this deck wants to see, as it is going to dump its hand and say, hey, deal with me now. Amber Steel is one of those decks that says, hey, I can deal with you now.
Yeah, I mean, so I've just double-checked the notes from the spreadsheet. One of the Amber Steels is a Tiana aggro list that I believe beat Bjornfoot in round 9 in the mirror yesterday. And then the other 2 Amber Steels are Flute versions.
Please don't say that. That's like the one deck that just absolutely terrifies me is the Tiana deck. As the resident blue steel enjoyer, that's the one matchup I just don't want to see, aside from Popsicles.
Yeah. Do you know what's really funny? I've never lost to Popsicles as blue steel. I just don't think I've played against any good Popsicle players.
So here's the thing. I'm going to teach you how to beat red purple. You just teach me how to beat red blue, because I can't seem to win that matchup.
All right. Well, we'll do some exchanging of information. And then, you know what? Together, we'll be unbeatable. We'll have no losing matchups except Tiana, but that's a bad deck. Don't play it. Ignore my video.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that deck's the... So here's the thing. Like, the Tiana deck can be very, very good. Red purple players have learned how to play against it now. Like, they are mulling for Fox and Maui. Like, that, those 2 cards are just so difficult for the deck to deal with, as they trade so effectively into all of the characters that are in the Tiana deck.
Yeah, and it's just that not being able to wheel, like, it's hard enough as blue steel if you don't find that wheel. It feels like, you know, you're playing the deck without legs, but having the wheel in hand and not being able to play it is possibly the worst feeling. And unlike Ruby Amethyst, we don't have the Maui to clear the Tiana. We just have very little ways of dealing with that threat other than a Hades.
Yeah, I tried to put some changes into blue steel to make that matchup a little bit better for us. Like I tested out the Hercules, I played more Hades and Let It Goes, and it just didn't matter. Like I remember one of the games that I played, my opponent just like played Tiana on 4, played Tiana on 5, and then played 2 of the Prince on uh 6, and I was like, yeah, I just can't get through all of those. Hercules was not enough. If I had a way to maybe untap Hercules 5 times, sure, it would have been great, but
If you had maybe like a Scar, you know, then you could
yeah,
hit all three.
Scar would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually Scar is insane into that deck.
Yeah, Scar. I feel like it's if Maui wasn't enough, then Scar would be pretty insane.
You know, we might need to do some brewing with some red steel. I've tried a couple
Ooh.
of times to make red steel work, and I've mostly just gotten frustrated and given up. But I think it's time for me to really put some serious man hours in trying to make red steel work.
Yeah,
I just have
let's
to
do some
manage
brewing
money
before
to
the end
it.
of the set. Let's get a couple more bangers out. We've just seen Green Foster go into the top 4 of the largest Lorcana tournament ever. Blue Steel, I'm hoping, is going in with it, and then together that'd be half the top 4. You know, of the decks we put
Yeah,
out.
it would just feel so incredible. Um, I know for me personally, when it comes to playing TCGs, I've been playing TCGs for way too long, over 20 years now. And I think the biggest joy that I get from TCGs is deck design and innovation.
Mm.
I'm a brewer. Like, it doesn't matter what the best deck in the format is. I won't play it. Like even like I played Magic for over 20 years, and like I would intentionally not play whatever the best deck in the format was. I would try to brew something that would beat it. And I found a lot of success, but when you build something and you test on it and you iterate it and you tune it and it becomes a part of the meta, that to me is the best feeling when it comes to playing card games.
I completely agree with you. It makes sense why we gravitated towards each other. I too have never once played the meta deck in any card game I've played.
Nope.
I'm always looking for the answer. I never want to be the question. You know, I just love coming up with a way to attack the meta in a new angle and a new light.
Yep, I'm same. I feel like I'm talking into a mirror. Let's see, did we get any results from any of the other rounds? I'm curious to see who's going into the semifinals.
I will have a look in the caster chat to see. Table 2 finished ages ago. I'm going to ask who won. Do you know what would be really cool to add to these tournaments? If there was a way to visualize the top 8, like we could live see like which decks, which players with what deck were advancing where. If they had like a little ink symbol next to their name to represent their deck, that'd be really cool as a future layer to add on to these tournaments.
It does look like they did post the top 8 deck lists.
Okay, but we don't know who was on table 2. So we don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
which
that's
deck went
fair.
on. Yeah.
Man, there's some spice in here.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab some water because I am parched from casting such an exciting game and I forgot to fill my water before the cast started, so I'm gonna leave you on your own, but with chat on a 15-minute delay for a few minutes.
All right.
So enjoy being basically a one-man comedy show for a bit with with no crowd reaction.
With no crowd reaction.
Yeah, the hardest comedy skit ever done to man.
Oh man, there's so much going on this weekend. There's been so many events all across the country. I know I played in a 1K yesterday, had an absolute blast. One of my buddies, a fellow content creator, the very rare Yokai, is taking the same list that I took to a 1K yesterday and top aided with. He's taking it to a win-a-box today. I woke up at I think his events already started. I think it started at like 10 a.m. And he was messaging me last night, and he's like, "Hey, like I need to know what to mulligan for each matchup. Is there any way that you could, send me something like a little cheat sheet or something like that?" And it was already, after 10 hours of gameplay yesterday, I was like, "Man, brother, I'm so tired." I was like, "I can try to get it to you in the morning." I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning to write him up a little cheat sheet and send it on to him. Um, I gotta check on him and see how he's doing, because I know he was really excited to play it. But there's been 1Ks across the board. I mean, everywhere. Win-a-box tournaments. You've got this online event that's going on. I'm so happy and thankful that Lorcana is taking off the way that it is, because I do think that at its core, it's just such a well-designed game. The design aspects. Some cards might be a little bit pushed. Goat. But from a design perspective, I think that this game is just so good, and seeing the community thrive and seeing all of these events, it really kind of brings me back to, pre-pandemic TCGs, and I absolutely just love that this game is getting the hype that it deserves.
Okay, so I'm gonna put us onto Taya's cast now, because they said we can just restream. So let's get some more gameplay.
Someone just asked, what's the reason that red purple has such a good matchup into red blue? Just more consistent draw, since red blue relies on Haram and can be removed. My response was goat.
Go. Just one word.
Goat. Goat is the reason. But yeah, it does have significantly more more ways to draw, which I think is that's how those two titans are going into each other. Whoever has access to more cards, whoever times. I think the other thing too is like having a singer for the Be Prepared to like get back on board first is really important in that matchup. Oftentimes in Be Prepared mirrors, regardless of what the color pairing is, whoever Be Prepared's first usually loses, because it's such an anti-tempo play that they're spending their entire turn and not committing anything else to the board. And then like you just get a clear board to just play more threats. And like, what are they going to do? They're going to Be Prepared again. But if you're able to get a big threat down and then use it to sing Be Prepared when you need to, like I think that that's how those matchups are decided.
Okay, I've got Taya's stream up. Do you want to bring it up too? And we'll cast the Flute Song versus Flute Song mirror, Zephyr versus Regimo.
Yeah, where's Taya? Let me pull her up real quick. There we go. I've got it pulled up.
Awesome.
What is this? Steel Song versus Steel Song Violence?
Yeah, it's a Steel Song on Steel Song. Who will win? Probably Steel Song.
I think that Steel Song probably has a 50% chance to win this. No, 100%. Okay.
No, maybe not. It's more like 55-45, I reckon. You do have Zephyr diff. I think Zephyr went undefeated yesterday, right?
Yeah, Zephyr went on an absolute rampage with his flutes list. So I know that the community has been split on what's the best Amber Steel build. Is it Lanterns? Is it Flute? Is it Zero to Hero? And if I'm being honest, I don't know the answer. I personally have not been a Flute enjoyer, just because I don't know. I don't like the card. I don't think it's that good.
Ooh, strong opinions.
But Zephyr's been proving me wrong. Like Zephyr, here's the difference maker: Hercules.
It does make a big difference in being able to clear key targets.
Ragamo with the wheel off the top. Both players sitting with a wheel in their hands. They don't necessarily want to wheel, but Ragamo being able to sing the wheel and have first action with a new fresh hand. This game is getting good now.
All right, I just had to fix some stuff. All right, we are back. The overlay is overlaying. I have chat open, and now I can focus on the gameplay. Grab your sword takes out the aerial, but being forced to wheel does take a lot of the tempo away, doesn't it, R&B?
Because he was able to sing it, I mean, casting the grab your swords there, that's what took all the tempo away. Dealing 0 damage to a Hercules, I mean, this Hercules is just going to run rampant on this board.
Yeah, I mean, what, as Amber Steel, do you have any ways to remove a Hercules, or do you just have to try and quest in their face?
You have to go really wide and use a Strength of a Raging Fire to deal with it, but then that just plays into the Be Prepared, which I think is what he may have been trying to set up with the Cinderella Singer, but...
Oh, do you mean the grab your sword?
Yeah, the grab your sword.
Yeah.
But post-wheel, I'm favoring Zephyr in this position. Ragamo's already down to 4 cards in hand. Zephyr's just got a full grip, plus this Hercules that is never going to take any damage.
I'm surprised Zephyr inked the beast. I feel like keeping the beast on board so you never have to wheel is a good idea.
Well, he's got a flute here. He does have 1 additional song in hand. He does have the wheel, but like you said, I don't think I would ever wheel against them. I'd force them to wheel me. The double Hercules that he's about to have on board can just go the distance.
Oh, for sure. Like, even Queen's not going to be enough, right? It's plus 4 attack to the Stitch. That does 3. Oh, well, actually, how much resist is Hercules? Plus 2?
2. It is 2 resist. You need to deal 5 to it.
Well, Stitch can do that with Queen, right?
It can, yes. Yeah. Queen is one way that you can get through it.
So we can get through the first Hercules, but can we get through the second Hercules? Probably not.
I think he needs to aerial here and try to find Strength of a Raging Fire to deal with this opposing Queen. Yeah. As Queen is one of the few ways that this deck is going to have a way to answer the Hercules. You can never confidently turn Hercules sideways with a Queen in play.
I think Taya was having the same questions about the base Hercules card art that I had when I first saw the card. They seem to be focusing on it quite a lot.
Is that a mannequin or what? What is that?
Yeah, I thought it was a real person at first, but it does look like I think it is a stuffed doll, like a human doll. But for a second, when I first saw the card, I was like, "Is this Disney?"
That is super creepy. I've never actually looked at that card until just now. I don't remember that in the movie, but it has also been quite some time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah. Okay, so the Queen's actually stayed alive here, but it wasn't able to trade into the Hercules. So I think that's just a win for Zephyr. Unless something crazy happens with a whole new world.
Flute wheel.
I mean, we got rid of the Herc at least, the second Herc from Zephyr's hand.
Let's see, we got Tinkerbell, Strength of a Raging Fire, Rockstar Stitch, Be Our Guest, Tinkerbell, Queen, Cinderella.
I think you might be right, though. I think in the mirror match, this Herc is the difference maker. Just anything that can have +2 resist into Steel, Cogsworth, Herc, Tiana is just going to make Steel have a really bad time.
Yeah, I mean, so the crazy thing about resist is I figured resist was going to be one of those mechanics that was going to help the other colors deal with the effects of Steel damage, but then they just gave it to Steel, so like now you have these like Steel on Steel matchups where the resist matters so much.
I think it's insane that resist was given to Steel and not just to Sapphire, for example, because you have this horrible cycle where it's just Steel all the way down, right? You need Steel to beat Steel, and if you're being beat by Steel, play some more Steel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait, what? I imagined like when we first heard about Rise of the Floodborn and they talked about some of the new keywords that you're going to see, and we saw resist come up, I was really under the impression that resist was going to be a green or a yellow mechanic,
right, to aid in aggro.
Yeah, to give aggro an answer to just getting wiped by a Tinkerbell Grab Your Swords. Wow, Zephyr has he just has full control over this board. The Hercules is still around 4 turns later. Benja to deal with the opposing Flute. I don't know if Ragamo has a way to come back in this game. And considering that Ragamo does have it checked that he goes first, I'm assuming Zephyr won the first game.
Yeah, no, it does seem like it. I think a really wait. Are you ahead of me? You said check to go first. How do you wait?
Yeah,
How do you know?
so if you see up by Ragamo's name, you see the red diamond. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, specific to Pixelborn, when you're conducting custom games, you have a checkbox selection option to choose who goes first. That's how these, online digital events are run. If you do that, it gives you that red diamond icon with the yellow outline to indicate that you have selected to go first.
I'm so glad you told me that because someone in chat asked me yesterday what that diamond means, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's like a Patreon thing or something. I had no clue.
No, it's to indicate that they have selected to go first. So, for those of you that haven't played in digital events and you're considering playing in, possibly the next big Lorcana Play Network event, when you're conducting your custom games for the first game, you'll both select to be on the play so that the RNG can determine, the coin flip to see who's going to go first, and then if you lose game one and you're going into game two, you'll select whether or not you want to be on the play by clicking that checkbox.
I mean, this just looks like a Sapphire Steel matchup, doesn't it? I mean, how wide is this board? I haven't seen a board this wide outside of playing Sapphire Steel.
This Hercules. So Zephyr is changing my mind on Hercules altogether. This card has been on the table for like what feels like an eternity. It's been like 6 turns of this card just existing, and it still has 0 damage on it. It just has no damage on it.
I mean, this is what Lorcana games look like when you don't have Be Prepared as a card you need to play around. Boards just get massive.
Gunky. I don't think he can clear everything here. He just has a casual 7 in play.
Oh, that's GG.
Ragamo, he said maybe my opponent won't see the line. Maybe they won't see that they can just quest to win.
Yeah.
Always give your opponent the opportunity to fail.
Is this BM? Should they just not just be questing to win here?
Yes, this is Zephyr being Zephyr.
Zephyr, why are you doing BM live on stream? Toxic YouTuber confirmed, exposed.
He wanted to win with the flute. I give him the style points.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some flair to that. But if I had just been knocked out of a top cut tournament, I'd want it ended quickly, you know.
Zephyr wanted to win with the flute. I can respect that.
If it wasn't for the flute, it would be cancelable. But you know what? You're right. That makes up for it.
He's also playing like one of my favorite cards too. So I also respect the Robin Hood ping because I was an early adopter. In the first week of set 2 dropping, I was an early adopter of playing Robin Hood as like a 2 or a 3 of. I kept going back and forth on the numbers in Steel Song as like a stitch target because obviously we needed X3s thanks to Let the Storm Rage On and Teeth and Ambitions. And man, like everyone's playing X3s. So Let the Storm Rage On plus Robin Hood ping just cleared so many boards. It was so good. I love Robin. And Robin Hood's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time too. So.
And if you have Cindy to sing, then you get to play a free drop as well. What an insane tempo swing.
So silly. It's so silly. I absolutely love that card. I wish it was inkable. I really anticipated like seeing some of the ping damage cards come out of Rise of the Floodborn. I anticipated there being some green steel ping deck that runs like Robin Hood, Ring the Bell, the Floodborn Cheshire Cat, and possibly even Beast Relentless. I did a bunch of toying around with it at the start of the format and just realized that paying 6 ink for a character that doesn't do anything the turn that you play it and requires it to live till your next turn just wasn't where the format was. The format's just too fast. It's too quick.
Yeah, the format is so fast, and I think uninkables are becoming I think a lot of people are opting to run less uninkables than we used to in set one because we really need more control over our mulligans. We want to mulligan for specific cards because there's so many matchups we have to be aware of because the meta is so diverse that one tech card you might play for one list you wouldn't want against another list. So you want the ability to mulligan for a different card without having to worry about drawing too many uninkables.
Look at this Tiana deck running the spicy one of Beast. And a one of Piglet. And a one of Piglet.
One of Piglet. Oh. What is the stat line on Piglet?
He's got Sleepy in here, too. He's a 2/4. A 3-cost 2/4 that quests for 2.
That's pretty good, actually.
It's
nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like a decent Rapunzel target, too.
Yeah.
He's running Sleepy, too. My goodness. The Prince, I love that card. I love that card so much. If Fox didn't exist, this would be one of the best cards in the game.
Oh yeah, it would be insane. I think the Prince plus Mouse armor, then it can live a Fox, and then it feels amazing. You get a resist to Prince. Oh, love Mouse armor.
Shh! Don't say this out loud for the people to hear.
Why not? Well, I don't care what happens to Ruby Amethyst.
I care what happens to Blue Steel.
Oh, true. Oh yeah, don't play Tiana. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Don't watch my video.
Tools.
Don't watch Steadfast video. Tiana's not a real deck. Ignore the hype. It's all YouTube BS. You know?
No, Tiana definitely has a place in the meta as an aggro list that can turn off Be Prepared and turn off Grab Your Swords. I think that it's more detrimental for like Blue Steel. I think that Tiana hard counters Blue Steel. I think that Red Purple still has skin in the game solely because of Fox and Maui, but man, it feels so bad into Blue Steel.
Do you see how I run my YouTube channel now? I play Blue Steel to... I do a Blue Steel video to beat the meta, and I release it just before it gets second in a tournament. And then we do Green Fusser to beat Blue Steel and Ruby Amethyst, and then I do Tiana to beat Blue Steel and and try and beat Ruby Amethyst again, and try and beat Green Fusser with like Singer Cinderellas. The idea is, you always have to watch the new video to find out how to beat the previous video.
Exactly. That's precisely what happens.
Yeah, it's Alphos all the way down. It's like steal and resist, You can never get away from me.
Man.
The Lorcana meta is one big Ponzi scheme. Once you get to the core of it, it's just the same dude beating his own decks,
100%. So, like, the amount of times that, like, I queued into Green Fossa after that video and was just like frustrated. Like, there were like, I won a lot of them.
Yeah.
But like, there were some lines on the draw that like there was no chance I was winning. Like,
oh, for sure.
The Mufasa hits were just too good. Like, I was like, all right, you got me. I didn't have Hades.
The high roll can just outpace you completely. I mean, that's how I lost to Red Yellow Mufasa in the tournament yesterday. They hear this, right? Not only did they high roll a Maleficent that took out like one of my 5 drops, can't remember which, it was either a Tink or a Beast, but they then used Radagan to play and exert. So they traded the Maleficent next turn into my Cogsworth, then used Radagan to exert my Beast and re-ready the Maleficent and trade into my Beast. So they just cleared all 3 of my 5 drops off of one Mufasa high roll.
That's absurd. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Unfortunately, so yesterday, myself and one other teammate on my team went to the event. And we both won round 1, and then round 2, of course, we paired into each other. A 1 in 27 chance of us pairing into one another, and we pair into each other. And he's on red yellow. I end up taking the win, but like game 2, I like killed a Mufasa, and he just like flips a Tremaine to like deal with the one character I had in play, and I was like, So sometimes you just get got.
Yeah, sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
Oh my goodness, it was so upsetting.
After
However,
Amethyst
I'm
Ruby,
gonna
what's people's
go.
next best? We got a question from the chat. I would say Sapphire Steel is probably our favorite, right?
Yeah, Sapphire. I think that red purple is like the clear decided, best best deck of the format. But I think blue steel is probably the second best deck in the format.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd completely agree.
I'm gonna do the same thing you did. I'm gonna go grab a water real fast.
All right, go rehydrate.
Unfortunately.
For anyone in chat, in 15 minutes you'll hear us. Go get yourself some water too. We'll be rolling into round 2, the semi-finals momentarily. So make sure you got some snacks, make sure you got some water, and we are gonna enjoy some of the best and highest level Lorcana you've ever seen. I'll try and do a bit of chat interaction. You're gonna hear me in 15 minutes. I'll roll through some of the questions we had during the cast. Red Steel, which was bringing up something we said earlier, is definitely a color combination I'd like to explore. I'd like to explore all the ink combinations that don't really have a place in the meta right now, and those will likely be the upcoming deck list until we make it to set 3 into the ink clans. You don't like Pain and Panic as much. You think Sleepy is a better 2-drop and Panic is never a better 3-drop than Doc. I agree with you that Doc is probably always a better 3-drop, but I think you underestimate how much the Panic Pain combo is good for if you miss Doc. It makes a very smooth 2-3-4-5 curve. You can either quest for free, or you can trade into a high priority target with the Pain. Heal off with the Rapunzel, getting you some extra cards to use. There's just a lot of flexibility in having Pain Panic as a toolkit within your deck. Shere Khan is underrated. I absolutely want to make Shere Khan work. My very first set 2 deck was my worst performing deck profile on the channel, but I really tried to make Shere Khan, Scar, and Christopher Robin work. Maybe it's something I can make work in set 3. I think that combo's got some spicy potential. Oh, R&B, thanks for the follow. What do you say?
Are you talking about Shere Khan?
I'm talking about Shere Khan. I love Shere Khan. I really want to make that card work.
I do too. I want to make... So, we were talking about trying to come up with a red steel deck. I think it might be a Shere Khan deck.
It might be. If you could... Yeah, because I guess a steel challenging, it works very well with the Tinkerbells. It works very well with a few steel cards like Namari. Then you can attack.
Yeah, I'm thinking like...
Yeah.
The biggest thing is so we need card draw engine. So Hook, Eric, Baby Queen, Big Queen, Shere Khan.
What does the red Big Queen do again?
So it shifts for 2. It's a 4/3. Whenever one of your characters challenges one of their characters,
I'll draw a card. Oh yeah, and then it's a 2/2 rush, right? Yeah, for the small one.
Yeah. We could do Scar Pick a Fight. Ooh.
Oh, wait, I didn't even think about comboing Pick a Fight. Okay, wait. Let's stop. Let's stop. This is private now. We'll get to Brewing, and then you'll get a deck video within a week.
Scar Pick a Fight.
Shh, don't repeat it. Let's keep this under wraps. I'm sold. I'm sold.
That's a lot of uninkables. That is a lot of uninkables.
It is a lot of uninkables.
It is a lot. There's a few uninkables.
But
there.
If we have enough draw, maybe it doesn't matter as much. Oh, and we're running Beast, 5-cost Beast for draw. Okay, no, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Private Brewing. Brewing. Can't leak.
Okay. We'll keep this one under wraps. But
yeah, you know what, anything we want to say, put it in text in the chat. We'll add some notes.
Ooh. I'm definitely not opening Pixelborn right now. No, totally not.
No, absolutely not. No. We're definitely not thinking about what we could put in the deck. Definitely not typing sounds, I hear. I'd hope not.
No, of course not. Why would there be typing sounds?
Yeah, why would there be typing sounds? Thanks for the follow, Pam Sudi and Dark Soul. Oh look, someone in chat said pick a fight is a good tech with Herc like 15 minutes before we even brought up pick a fight, which we didn't talk about.
That's pretty spicy too. Ooh. We get Maui. Yep, I like this.
Yeah, I mean, I heard there was some guy in the Lorcana Discord a couple weeks ago that was like, I've got an amazing Ruby Steel deck, I'm bringing it to 1k and I'll release it after it's over. And I don't think he ever released it.
He did release it.
Oh.
I looked at it. It looked like a deck.
A deck. It's the best you could say.
It was a deck that it would look like a deck that had it had cards in it.
Yeah, yeah. Which I would hope is the minimum requirement for most decks, having cards. Oh, it looks like we have the first game of the semi-finals coming up for a second, and it's going to be Green Fossa first, Uzma Kappa versus Artabax. Let me find out what deck Artabax is on.
Artabax is on red-purple, I can already tell you that.
Oh, wait, Green Fossa in the finals is a possibility. It's a real possibility.
Yeah, so I have played against Artabax countless numbers of times on ladder, and he is one of the biggest advocates for red purple. Very, very competent player. He's a German player. He also streams on Twitch. Super cool dude. He's the reason why I've started trying to learn German. It's just to be able to interact in his chat.
Thanks for follow Pam Sudi. Does R&B have a YouTube as well? And if so, how can we find him? He does not have a YouTube yet, but you can find him on twitch.tv/r__m__b. Is that correct?
That is in fact correct.
Wonderful.
I likely won't have a YouTube in any reasonable amount of time, if ever. I am mostly a consumer of YouTube. However, I will continue to work with Alphos to give you guys the content you deserve.
And I am A-okay with that because I get early access into R&B's brilliant deck building mind and to share it with all of you all. I think I messed up my sentences there. I was trying to say with all of you guys and I said all of you all, which is not... I don't think that's grammatically correct. Oh, and unfortunately, it looks like we're watching the Zeph. I kind of want to watch the other match. Do you want to hop over to the Green Fossa match, or do you want to watch this Zephyr versus Cormier? Oh, which deck is Cormier playing? Oh, it looks like Flute Song.
There's no way it's Flute versus Flute again.
Oh no, Zephyr's on Flute Song. Oh, sorry, it's Ruby Amethyst. Yeah. Okay. Also, both the Ruby Amethyst won their matchups. So, yeah, Ruby Amethyst beat Tiana Aggro.
So there is a possibility for Green Fossa to go Ruby Amethyst quarters, Ruby Amethyst finals, and then finals.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch Green Fossa. Let's swap.
We could be seeing the makings of history. Green Fossa running the gauntlet of red purple players and taking down a massive online tournament.
I am super excited for that possibility. It is Raven and Kawa. This is actually really funny. We have a stream and a stream and a stream. So we are watching Raven and Kawa restreaming Taya and Specky. So we are 3 layers deep of streamception. This is because only one casting pair can see at a time.
Who do I need to watch?
Raven.
Raven?
Yes.
Ravenna? Or
No. Raven HS. So he's a old Hearthstone caster. He's done some Marvel Snap streaming and casting too, which is how I met him. And now he's doing some Lorcana casting as well with Kawa, another mate of mine. So we have some lovely, talented people in the Lorcana scene.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking at the deck lists now.
I realize it's a bit. Maybe I did the. I said live cast featuring R&B, then 15-minute delay in parentheses. I mean, it is a live cast. Put on a 15-minute delay.
You're casting live the gameplay itself, however. That happened like at least 4 days ago.
Yeah. Oh well. I can be a bit redundant. I'll change the title once it's a VOD on YouTube.
So just to be clear, the game, is it underway or is it not underway? Man, I don't know what's going on with
I'm not entirely sure because we were watching Taya's stream, and they had gone into the Zephyr semi-final match. So I'm gonna check the caster chat to see what's going on.
I don't know what's going on with Pixelborn today, but it's making me like physically log in with my credentials.
Yeah, it sounds like Blue Steel did not make it to semi-finals. Very sad. Lost out in the quarterfinals.
That is sad.
I think they were up against Flute Song? Yeah, they were up against Flute Song. Oh no, Ruby Amethyst actually. Sounds like they were up against Ruby Amethyst. So I think that has really shown how Ruby Amethyst lists have adapted to Blue Steel being in the meta, whereas 2 weeks ago it was, you know, for a lot of players completely unexpected and no one had built around it as like a real threat.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing with the Ruby Amethyst matchup. It is absolutely winnable. Is it a difficult matchup? 100%.
Yeah.
I do think that a lot of it is going to come down to the wheel. If you're able to ever wheel away one or even multiple be prepareds, for each be prepared that's wheeled away, you are increasing your win percentage possibility by about 7 to 10%, like 7-8%. Like I had a game yesterday where I wheeled on 5 and hit 2 be prepareds, and I just proceeded to win the game 3 turns later because of it. Like I hit it, and then I just went double bell, and they were like, "Yep, those are gonna be questing for a lot." On turn 5, I was at 10 ink. It's kind of hard to come back from that type of deficit.
Yeah. It's also, I feel like a big problem for matchup is even with nothing to hide and with wheel, you can wheel away 1, 2 be prepared. You can check their hand immediately after, and they don't have nothing to, and they don't have be prepared. But then they have so much draw that they can just get it back within a turn. And if you don't immediately follow up with bells, and they just top deck a turn or 2 turns after, then you've lost that advantage and you're back into the grueling grind against their late game resources.
So it looks like we're watching Thea.
Oh, is it on Taya's stream? Okay.
Taya.
I will go back.
I can't spell, man.
Oh, no worries.
The English language is such a bad language when it comes to like pronunciations of and lettering. It's incredibly lazy.
I'm on Taya's stream and Green Foster isn't here.
No, it's Zephyr versus Cormier. It's Steel Song versus Red Purple.
So I believe the matchup based on the message Raven sent to the caster chat should be up within 10 minutes. So I guess we can watch Taya's stream for a few minutes and then swap over to the Green Foster match.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for... It was at 49, 59, and then... Okay, I'll set a timer for like 6 minutes to swap over. Set a timer for 6 minutes. Thank you, Google. Okay, so... Flute Song versus Ruby Amethyst, a very relevant matchup in the meta. Would you say Ruby Amethyst has the advantage?
And currently it does, sitting
Yeah.
at 9 lore, and double B prep in hand, followed by an Elsa. So this is one of those matchups that I think is probably as close to 50-50 as you're gonna get when it comes to like deck design.
Yeah.
If Zephyr reads the B preps in hand here, he's gonna wheel away. Okay, Zephyr just increased. Zephyr just increased his win percentage by at least 14%, hitting double B prep. But you do also see that Cormier does pick up the third B prepared.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty insane, and very unfortunate for Zephyr because now they don't have nothing to hide, right? They have no way of seeing if they picked up another B prep. So the correct play is probably to have a mediocre push, and if they don't see a B prep come out, then to just go all in on board. So I think maybe the best play for Cormier here is to not B prep this turn, but B prep on the next turn, so that they can bait more resources out onto board.
Double beast is enough resources. It is more than enough. I mean, this be prepared is going to be very, very good for Cormier here. But the one thing that's going to go through Zephyr's mind is, okay, I have 3 be prepareds down. I'm pressing the gas pedal for the rest of this game. I'm going to overcommit to the board, make them have it. If they have it, they do. If they don't, you likely just win the game. He does have to make up a...
We just saw the B prep come out. Do you think maybe the Ursula should have come down instead so that we could sing B prep on the next turn and force more resources onto the board? Or going back to what you were saying just now, that it was more important for the B prep to come down now? Because Zephyr's only on 1 lore. There was some breathing room.
Right, but the issue would have been the fact that Zephyr was going to draw 3 cards this turn.
Right.
That the start of turn passive of Beast, I think, is way too good. It's the way that Steel decks are able to beat Red Purple is just purely based on like card advantage. They have a lot of their own card advantage, but Beast provides Steel with the tools needed to deal with all the other X3s on their opposing side of the board and still stick around. If he gave him the 3 additional cards, like I think that the game probably would have just been over from there. Even if he be prepared in the next turn.
That makes sense. Okay, so it looks like we do have a Hurt coming down with the Robin Hood as Tremaine fodder, so correctly playing around Ruby's removal tools. Do you know if Cormier is running the Maleficent in their list?
I can tell you in just a second. Let me pull up his deck list.
Thank you, because I've got some new PC parts to upgrade my PC that are being used to organize a tournament in a couple months. But I have not installed them yet, so my PC is struggling while streaming. So I have a hard time tabbing out to look for things.
My Discord is struggling. The Discord's been struggling a lot lately, though.
Yeah, I think Discord in general has just been struggling. But we see the Ursula come down, which is a very hard card for Steel to deal with the exception of Hercules, having 6 damage and taking no damage from Ursula.
So all of these lists are posted by the same person. Yeah, here it is, Francis Cormier. He is running Dragon. He has 3 dragons.
Okay, so he really wants to top deck into a dragon here.
Yeah, he's got 3 dragons, 1 Elsa, 3 Ursula. So we did see that wheel hit the Elsa. So knowing that there's the one of Elsa's gone is also another big bonus.
Yeah, and especially in open lists, Zephyr can play around that perfect deck knowledge and know that they never have to play around an Elsa again.
He does have 4 Lady Tremaine, and we see 2 of them in his hand here. Cinderella to the Inkwell, which I agree with. It's not very good in this matchup specifically. Just a overly high-costed card that gets dragoned.
Yeah. I mean, luckily for Zephyr, there's no dragon to be seen.
Thankfully. Although, hey, never underestimate Red Purple's ability to top deck the exact card that they need at the right
That's
time.
very true. And also, from our perspective, I think we're...
What did what did I just say? Oh, see, this is the problem with Red Purple. They just always have it. So there's...
They have exactly one ink that they need. You can do everything in your power to perfectly play around Ruby Amethyst, but if they top deck the right answer, you lose anyway.
So there's a meme in the Magic community. It's called the Thoughtseize bug. So there's a card that allows you to look at your opponent's hand and make them discard a card. And like the meme is that, well, you can't Thoughtseize the top of the deck. So like very frequently you'll cast Thoughtseize. There's a specific card you're looking for. They have it. You make them discard it. And then the next card that they draw is that card. They just draw another copy of it. And you're like, but I just made you discard that.
Do you think that was correct to remove the Tinkerbell instead of the Hercules here?
Yes. And the reason why is Tinkerbell allows the ability to trade multiple threats on your side of the board, whereas Maleficent is going to do the exact same thing. It deals with the Tinkerbell. And then it can also deal with this Hercules in the event that they turn it sideways, because that thing's just a 7/5.
True. But it does trade 1-for-1, whereas we might be in a position where we want to start questing here. Without knowledge of our opponent's hand.
Yeah, Red Purple being just at a casual 13 could just... Oh! The world's greatest criminal mind. I didn't even realize that that's what that was in his hand. I thought that was Painting the Roses Red or whatever that card is.
I don't know what that card is. But I do know what World's Greatest Criminal Mind is. Because it's a card I played in Tiana Aggro that didn't come up as often as I wanted it to against Maui's.
There's only one thing that you need to know about Painting the Roses Red. Number one, it's a song, and number two, it draws you a card. The other abilities on it are irrelevant.
That sounds great for my flutes.
I think it gives like 2 characters -1 strength until end of turn.
We did quest with that Ursula, right? We didn't trade? Yeah. Ooh.
I think Red Purple needs to like step up the gas here. Knowing that your opponent's only on 2 cards in hand, I think you just need to like start questing. Like getting this mini down's probably pretty important.
Yeah.
He hasn't inked this turn yet, so I could also see just playing the Tremaine as another 2 quester that's also going to remove something from the opposing side of the board.
I don't know if I like inking the mini. I think I would have preferred inking the Fox, because we're in a position where we want to be closing out the game here, not reacting and clearing boards.
Yeah, I mean, they're also... The line I would have considered there was foxing back the rabbit to draw a card, hoping that you draw a inkable card so you can cast the mini, and then allowing the fox to run into the aerial.
Yeah, I can see that.
Actually, I think you have to run it into the Robin Hood, to be honest, because if you run it into the aerial, then Robin Hood can just take the fox out for free. Man, this Robin Hood has made some like really complicated board states that like choosing the correct lines is not as easy as you would think it would be.
I mean, a ping 1 is nothing to sniff at. A ping 1 made Mage a very good deck in Hearthstone.
Yeah, sure did.
Like, just the ability to...
When are we going to get Azure Drake?
Azure Drake... True! when do we get to get a 4 damage grab your swords? That's what I want.
Yeah.
+2 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they release Ursula, we need a way to make the songs we don't have discarded stronger. So why don't we get a +2 song damage?
I mean, I could see there being like a deal 3 damage to all characters in play, so not one-sided like grab your sword,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
increasing up a damage, but it also damages your characters too.
How
I think
nice
that
would
that
that
would
be
be
with
fair.
Mufasa?
Pretty good.
Pretty nice.
So Cormier is just saying, "Hey, I'm closer to winning. You start answering me. I'm gonna deal with one threat on your board while also developing another threat on my board."
Okay, and as soon as this game is over, we're going to hop over to the Green Faster game, because that should be up by now. Green Faster versus Ruby Amethyst.
Where's that one going to?
That's going to be on Ravens.
Okay, I'm excited for that one.
I am so excited for that one. I want to see Green Faster win.
I want to see it go the distance, man. I want to see Green Fossa go the distance. I mean, we're one goat away from Red Purple just top decking and winning the game.
Genuinely. It's that's how scary Red Purple is. It does not take much to win.
That's the thing. Like when Red Purple hits some of those pivotal numbers like 15, 16, you're just like a bounce goat away from winning the game.
You know, Amber Steel's put up a pretty impressive board here already. It makes me wonder if maybe we really should have kept the Mini and not played the Fox.
And that is not a goat. So now your opponent is threatening lethal.
I mean, I think you can trade the Fox into something, you can quest with Tremaine, you can bounce the Tremaine back to hand. You could even bounce the Fox back... No, you can... It would need to live. You could bounce the Tremaine back to hand to play the Fox and clear something else. Or you have to consider the line of playing Rabbit to try and draw cards. Try and find an answer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he can, yeah, that's still. I think your line is probably Tremaine into Eric, Fox into Ariel, Snake back to Tremaine, replay the Tremaine. It takes out the untapped Ariel, and he's left with 4 in play plus 2 off the song. That puts him at 19.
But what's crazy is that World's Greatest Criminal Mind can sing off Ariel without a target and just flute for win.
It still wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be enough, but it would get very close.
Yeah, it would get him to 19, and then you're left with a Tremaine Snake in play, giving yourself one more turn to, like, maybe draw the fox or draw the goat. You've also got 2 rabbits. He has to do something, and I think, yeah. So he's gonna go Tremaine into Eric. Fox should go into the Ariel. You snake back the Tremaine, recast the Tremaine. It targets the untapped Ariel. Yep.
Looks like that is the line we're going for. We're trying to clear as much of the board as we can.
Hold on. Actually, 4, 6, that costs 12. That doesn't work.
What's interesting here is,
like, did he have a line to like shift the first Tremaine and then like snake it back and then recast one, but that would have cost 12. That would have been absolutely disgusting, though.
That would have been insane. I often forget that you can just shift over the same target. I think I lost a game once because I didn't keep that in mind. That was a mechanic. Oh, they get another Aerial out to try and dig for a song to flute with on the next turn. The crazy thing is, though, Ruby Amethyst is at 3 lore. If nothing... Oh, and they get a strength, so they can clear some of the lore. So now they are 2 goat bounces away from a win rather than 1.
Yep, that might seal the deal. Inking that Fox 4, 8, 11. Yeah, I think he needed to keep the Fox and just opt to not ink. You play the rabbit, hope you draw a goat, play the goat, Fox back the goat. not having now you need 2 cards to win, and I think that's going to be Zephyr taking this game.
That's game, yeah. All right, let's hop over to the green Fossa match because it's probably already started.
Raven HS.
Okay, so the green Fossa match
we're
has
well
indeed
underway
started.
here.
Yeah. 9 and 13. Ruby Amethyst with the lore lead, but no Be Prepared in hand, and green Fossa just has an insane board out already.
So this is not your traditional red-purple. This is red-purple that's teched for the mirror. This is red-purple aggro with the LeFou Arthur combo. So these lists typically don't run Be Prepareds, which is something that's very interesting in this matchup specifically. A lot of these lists have cut a lot of the top end, so no dragons, no Ursulas, no Elsas, oftentimes no Be Prepareds. There are some hybrid lists that will run the Arthur aggro combo alongside of Be Prepareds to just say, yeah, I'm going to get ahead really early on, and then I'm going to Be Prepared you, and then I'm going to win through Goat Bounce.
I think that specific deck change works amazingly for the Ruby Amethyst Mirror, but might make them struggle into this pure aggro deck, because I think Green Fossa can outspeed this aggro variant of Ruby Amethyst.
So here, the aggro variant is very, very good in a field of other red-purple decks. It does, however, give up significant percentage points against steel decks, specifically blue steel. It feels like one of the freest matchups. Like your line that you're trying to go for is just like 5 drop on 4 into Sing Grab Your Swords Tinkerbell, and then you just never wheel them. So much easier to play against this than it is like the traditional control style red-purple.
And something we really have to take into account in the top 8 is that because of the open deck list, they never even have to consider the possibility that they would be the control variant. They know exactly that they're the aggro variant, which is maybe something you'd benefit from in the Swiss, because people might still be playing around for Be Prepareds that you don't run, and those later game threats.
So Artabax is trying to determine, how do I win this over the course of the next 2 turns? He has to cast his Teeth and Ambitions to take the Tinkerbell out to change the ability for Uzma to just win next turn. He can Arthur bounce. That's going to bring him up to 18, and he just has lethal in play.
Oh, got hit by an ad.
Oh, that means I'm probably coming up next too. So he bounces a mini, goes to 18, replays mini, making his opponent need to deal with...
Please keep telling me what the board state is, because I've got another 2 minutes of ads to go.
Yeah, so it's Uzma Kappa's turn. He's got Hades, Genie, Stitch in hand, 5 ink, Cusco Ray in play. He just gives him the win. He didn't see the line. Oh no, Uzma Kappa did not see the line. He had the win.
What was the line? Sorry, run that back for me. So I can't see
the line
board.
was his opponent had... Oh no, maybe he didn't. He needed to deal with 3 things. Okay. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me.
Okay, no worries. Well, luckily for you...
That's... Yeah, he was at 18 with 4 things in play. He could kill... Yeah, he could only banish 2 of them. Okay. Yeah. He saw it. See, I mean, he's a better Green Fossa player.
Well, it's like you know, the student becomes the master.
Yeah, exactly. I want to take a look at his list.
Oh yeah, that's something I should have done. I should have brought up the full list. Can you drop that link in chat for me so I can bring up the list while the ads play?
Of course. Copy.
Thank you.
Pasta. So he's opted for no Pain Panic, and he's taken out anything above Genie for just more 5-drops. He still has Stitch Queen, both of the shift lines on 1. He's opted for Flynn Rider Simba on turn 2. And his 3-drops have become Peter Pans to deal with minis. And it's also just another evasive character.
I do like the Flynn Rider 2-drop. I think it's something I tested before we made that Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo change to the list. And I just think the 2 quest is just so helpful and so impactful, along with the discard.
Something also to note here is he's just playing 60 characters. I've seen a lot of discussion around Mufasa decks and whether or not you should be 60 characters, how many non-characters can you play to still maintain a positive hit ratio on the Mufasa. Someone did the math. You can run up to 5 non-character cards in Mufasa lists and still have a 90% hit ratio off of the Mufasa trigger.
And I think that's worth it, because you're never going to reach a 90% win rate in a card game, so you might as well have a 90% success rate to have a higher potential and more utility, rather than just never having a bad hit. Because I feel like unless they just wanted to include the character cards more than any item or action card, then I don't think it's wise to avoid for the sake of just never having that low percentage outcome.
Yeah, but you know what's higher than 90%?
100%.
What if Mufasa never missed?
That's very true.
Off to the races here. So we did get to dock out a Cusco, but we do see Fox on the other side in Artifact's hand, and it looks like he's playing 2 completely different decks here. The game 1 we saw Minis and Arthurs and LeFous, and this game looks more like a control game, where we've got Mauis and Foxes and Yzmas and Be Prepareds.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, we went under the assumption that maybe they didn't have these late game control cards, but it seems like they do. They just didn't draw into them.
Yeah, it's almost like 2 different decks in one.
I think this is probably the right way to play the aggro variant, so that you don't cost too many points into the non-Ruby Amethyst matchups, but you still have an advantage to go under in the Ruby Amethyst mirror.
Yeah, I'm gonna find his list. Here's Artabax's list. So he is on. Oh wow! So he's on 3 Arthur, 3 LeFou, 4 Fox, 4 Snake, 3 Crab, 4 Goat, 4 Rabbit, 2 3-drop Maleficent.
I just love that crab play. Bounce to hand to have the snake with gross. 1 damage counter deal with the Cusco. Oh, insane.
His top end is 3 Yzmas. So no
you
Ursula,
say Yzma?
No Elsa. Yeah.
Like Yeezy? Like a Yeezy. Yzma. There's no y. Yzma.
No, I said Yzma. Yzma.
You said Yzma, like yes.
Yeah, it's Khan Yzma.
You don't pronounce the Y. It's an E.
I'm American, man. Leave me alone. And I'm from the South. I got 2 things going against me here.
It's okay. You teach me Lorcana, I'll teach you English.
Thank you. I need that in my life.
Anyway, on more important things like a competitive Disney card game, that Genie tempo play, it's not as impactful as you'd normally want it to be. You want it to hit those high-cost targets. But honestly, it was probably necessary. Genie's still going to get to quest once before the Be Prepared comes down.
Yeah, and he does have Cusco post Be Prepared. And something to note about Artabax's list, there's 0 Tremaine in his list.
Ooh. That is good. Like, one of the big drawbacks of playing Green Farsa is how little card draw you have. But if they don't have Tremaine, you don't have to worry about the fodder. And we have the Mufasa headed to the Mufasa for the double high roll. Madam Mim Snake is probably going to clear this Mufasa. Can we get a third?
Mufasaception.
Oh my god, this is beautiful. I love this deck. I mean, this is how you win a tournament, right? You just high roll a
Right.
deck with large potential.
You know, I hope that this Mufasa trigger hits Hades so he can put Mufasa back in hand.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. And a Cusco comes out on board, can't be cleared by the Maleficent
no!
quest for free. So we have 5 quests on board with another Cusco to come after the Be Prepared. Oh, and it can't be targeted by the Yzma on 6. Only Genie can be put into the deck, and then it will shuffle 2 more cards to play after the Be Prepared.
I might be sold on these Cuscos, I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, yeah, I think as much as Cusco dies to Fox, sometimes you just have to accept that you have a counter card.
Quest for 3. It's still just quest for 3, and it trades with the Fox.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on Ray Cusco Mufasa. I think I wouldn't play Mad Hatter. I'm on Ray Cusco Mufasa.
I hope he doesn't commit anything else to the board here. I hope he just like turns dude sideways, says, "Show me the Be Prepared."
Yeah. Do you think they needed to commit the Stitch? Probably, right? Because they can clear Genie, they can clear Cusco.
If you're trying to force it, yes, because you can. I mean, okay, so he is going to commit it to force the Be Prepared. Because if he didn't commit it, he could have Maui ran into Cusco. And then Yzma
the
Genie, but then
Genie.
you're giving the aggro deck 2 more cards, which also doesn't feel great.
I mean, this does feel great, because Cusco can't be Yzma. There's nothing out on the board. There's not another Be Prepared. They're at 5 lore. They can't race with the mini plus spellbook. This is looking like a win for Green Fossa in game 1.
So he Be Prepared's here. The follow-up is going to be Cusco. I think you have to Yzma.
Oh, you might want to refresh.
Targets.
I think you're a bit behind.
How far behind am I?
Maybe like 8 seconds.
Oh, okay. There's a Cusco in play. I'm refreshing.
Yeah, so the Yzma did get played with no targets. Now there's a Simba out on the board. Axe is fodder
Simba?
to protect the Cusco. He's Simba. He's protecting the Cusco with the Simba. Has lethal on board with a queen still in hand. And they top deck to Surfer Mini. They have no way to clear the Simba. That is GG. That is a win for Green Fossa in game 1.
We're gonna go to game 3. We're gonna go to game 3.
No, this is game
Unless
1,
we
isn't
missed
it?
a game.
I don't think we missed a
it's
game.
game 2.
Oh, is it game 2?
Yeah. Remember Uzma conceded?
Oh, sorry. That was because I went to the ad break. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. That's why. I think this is game 2 unless we came in and missed a game.
Yeah, no, so I think that, this is definitely game 2. We couldn't have missed a game unless the game lasted like 2 minutes. Yeah, no, okay, they're getting ready for a third game. If
any gonna do that, though, it's Green Fossa.
That's true. Oh, this is amazing. So excited for game 3.
I am too. Oh gosh. Please. If for all that is holy in the world, let Green Fossa beat this deck.
You know what? If Green Fossa goes all the way to the finals and wins, I'm changing the title of the stream VOD to Green Fossa takes down the W. Casting the Green Fossa W.
Green Fossa takes down second biggest Lorcana digital tournament ever.
I mean, if it does take it down, we will be the only pair of casters that have casted all 3 Green Fossa matches.
I mean, we kind of have skin in the game against it.
We do have skin in the game. I asked Taya, I was like, hey, please give us the Green Fossa match. We feel fondly about this deck. For various reasons, and they couldn't give it to us. But fate had another hand in play, and we were given the match anyway for our table to cast. And honestly, I think if fate continues to have a hand in play, if whatever Lorcana power Havel deck shuffler decides, then I think we might see a Green Fossa winner.
I sure hope so.
I mean, all we need
I
is
want nothing more than Green Fossa to take this down.
Yeah, I don't wish on Zephyr's failure, but I do wish on Flute Song's failure, so that Green Fossa has a better chance in the finals.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if it's a Zephyr Green Fossa finals, I have to give it to Zephyr, unfortunately. I think that,
Yeah.
I think that, well, we even said it in the video. Steel Song's the worst matchup for this deck.
Absolutely. And at the time, Steel Song wasn't very common, but with the rise of Tiana and with the rise of players like Zephyr continuing to iterate and innovate and making Flute Song work in the current meta with cards like Hercules, we are seeing a revival. The most diverse meta we've ever had in the existence of the game.
You know, it looks like we're just waiting on a refresh here for them to get Game 3 under the way. Man, I'm pumped.
I'm so pumped.
Even if it's a loss, the fact that it's still top 4, I think is still a win.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like top 4 at like what, the second largest tournament?
It did take down an event last weekend too. It took first place at a 1K, I think, in like.
Oh no, apparently that was misinformation. Apparently it was a top 4 that split the prize. And they didn't play out the top 4 cut.
See, this is why I am firmly in the no chop gang. If I'm in top 8s, we're playing. I came to play cards, man. Like,
yo, I mean, even if you do split the prize, play out the games. Like, play for glory, you know?
We want to know who won.
Exactly. Oh, come on. I'm on the edge of my seat. Where is game 3?
I am too. My heart rate is...
I'll check the caster chat to see if there were any technical difficulties.
We might be taking a bio break.
Oh, apparently they missed game 1 somehow, so... Oh, Green Fossa won! That was game 3!
So, okay, so that's what I was afraid of, is that not necessarily that, like, we missed it, but, like, game 1 was missed in general.
Yeah, game 1 was missed entirely. That game is lost. We will never see it again. Green Fossa's in the finals! Oh my god. Alright, and let's go back to Tea's stream then for Zephyr's match and then the grand finals.
Oh my goodness. This is... I'm like... This is... You have no idea. It feels so good!
Oh my god. And do you know what? I feel like I'm the smartest man in the world. 2 of the largest Lorcana tournaments in a row, and I've put a video out on one of the finalist decks, surprise finalist decks, before the tournament.
Brother, that's incredible. Like, we need to go and play the lottery.
Yeah, right. We need to just keep our hands dipped in the Lorcana meta as long as we can, and pulling the strings from behind the curtain. Oh, this is amazing.
So I currently have 3 decks put together in paper. The 3 decks that I have put together, one of them just sits in a box. The other 2 decks are Blue Steel and Green Fossa.
I love that. So you're ready to pull out Green Fossa the moment that you see a counter to Blue Steel being popular.
So here's the thing. The original reason why I built the deck in the first place. So my girlfriend has never played a card game before in her life, and we ventured into Lorcana together. We learned it together. We went to leagues together. We've been going to events together. And in set 1, she absolutely loved Lemon Lime lore. She liked the aggro strategy. She liked just in timing out a Cusco on turn 3. And unfortunately, like, Yellow-Green just didn't live up to the hype in set 2. She had been playing Red-Purple Control because the majority of our team was on Red-Purple Control. And she was like, I'm not having fun playing these mirror matches. Can you build me a green-yellow deck? Green-yellow was fun. So, like, that's where, like, I had to go into the tank and start trying to develop a green-yellow deck that could actively win against the most popular deck in the format. So that's how Green Fossa came about. So she is currently playing Green Fossa in paper.
That's awesome. I've also heard from a few people that especially newer players to the game are enjoying Green Fossa, so I think you've absolutely succeeded in both of your goals to make a competitive, accessible deck. I was in Tea's chat after ending the stream yesterday and raiding the main tournament stream, and I believe it was a person called Echo messaged me and said that
Yeah.
their wife or their girlfriend was playing it,
Mm-hmm.
and that was so cool to see.
Echo's wife is playing it. There's another couple in my local community. Josh and Toby, his wife is playing it. Like, it's the perfect girlfriend deck. It really is.
I mean, there's a lot of partners out there that I assume are better. You know, a lot of girlfriends, a lot of wives that are better than. You know, it's the less invested person, right? If you're bringing someone significant to you into the game and you are super invested in it, you know, it's good to have those accessible decks where they can enjoy the game just as much as you can.
Yeah, we have so our team includes 1, 2, 3, 4 couples. One of our couples,
wait!
girlfriend is.
Look at this trade. What do you think? Trading into the 2/3 aerial when Rob. Oh, okay, they're bouncing it back to hand anyway. Because I was worried about Robin Hood pinging the snake. Sorry, continue what you were saying.
I think I'm frozen right now.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, so you're saying there's multiple couples within your play group?
Yes, and one of the couples, male female couple. The female is an absolute monster at the game. Like, she is so, and she's like our aggro player too.
Yeah.
She is like consistently putting up results that are just significantly better.
Which is, yeah, no, it's amazing to see, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this. I think in card games in general, there's a heavy bias against aggro decks, thinking, you know, they take no skill, there's no nuance, and I believe if you hold that opinion, you're just not thinking about your games enough, and you think the only difficulty in a card game comes from choosing which cards to remove with your, you know, reactive cards. And removal tools.
1000% agree. Especially coming from Magic. Like, I have played a significant amount of aggro decks in the past. Even recently, last year, you know, I was known for my mono black like mid-range control deck, but I played a lot of mono white humans, which is an aggro deck, and it is like one of the most complex decks to play in the format. It is by no means just a play dudes turn them sideways type of deck. I mean, it is the decisions you make or break whether or not you win or lose the game. It is not as simple as just I play dude turn sideways. It's not that simple. Aggro decks are not easy to play.
No, for sure. I mean, as we brought up earlier, I've always liked to be a meta breaker. When I was playing Digimon, the most fun part about the game was that a lot of players would just copy the Japanese meta 1-to-1 because they would get cards a few months before or 6 months before. And then, you know, my goal was always to break the Japanese meta and challenge people's conceptions of what cards were good. In set 6, I did that with this Christmas red-green aggro deck that nobody in Japan had ever played and ended up being really, really strong. And I would always test with people from America so that I could go to events in the UK and do well with a deck no one's ever heard of, and they could go to events in the US and do well with a deck that's no one ever heard of. And then we did it again in the next set with a deck called Armor Rush, which was the most fun and in-depth and nuanced aggro deck I've ever played, and made me fall in love with aggro decks when I had normally been mostly a mid-range and control player. And just, you know, being able to say that this deck, this archetype that was considered terrible, you know, in the Japanese meta and people's preconceptions, and making it top at 2 events in the same weekend across the world, nothing feels better than that. It feels amazing to shake up the meta to that degree. And I feel like R&B, with your deck, with, you know, our testing and spreading it to the world, we have done that with Green Fossa.
Yeah, I think Green Fossa is here to stay. I don't think this is just like some flavor of the week deck. As long as red purple is 50% of what people are bringing to events, Green Fossa has a place in this meta.
Oh yeah, Green Fossa, or Lime Lion, as someone else wanted to call it, is the diametrically opposed deck to everything Ruby Amethyst wants to do. We get to put on pressure and be aggro while still avoiding almost all of their removal tools, unless they're running Peter Pan's Shadow, and it just feels great, right? You know, playing a Mufasa into a Be Prepared feels amazing. Now that we're seeing Kuzco, playing Kuzco to counter the Tremaines feels even better, and the Yzma and the Maleficent. I mean, it's something we should have thought about more from what made Emerald crazy back in set 1, right? And Kuzco was what made Emerald crazy back in set 1, along with Genie.
Yeah, I think, like, initially, I know when I first, like, the first iteration, the first iteration went, like, all the way up, all the way up the chain. It was very top-end heavy. Before, like, I got the list that I got to you, like, the deck looked very different before that, and it just didn't really work. And I know that some people have said, like, oh, you're never getting to 7, you don't flip it often enough. And, like, I know that some people have, like, tested some of the other 7s, like the Evasive Facilier, which, like, I also think that card is interesting. I have never played with it myself, but I was intrigued. I'd like to flip that off of a Mufasa. But I think just coming a little bit lower to the ground and giving yourself a more consistent, you're not relying so much on just a ridiculous Mufasa.
I agree.
It's probably a better place for the deck as an adaptation to the original list. I do really like the list that he's decided to bring today, and I'm definitely going to be testing it out myself.
Which is what I think. That's what makes Emerald Mufasa better than Ruby Mufasa, at least into the current meta. It's the idea of not relying on Mufasa being a high roll so much, and just going for a really strong core deck that can sometimes benefit off of what Mufasa hits, right? More often than not. Like, you don't need a crazy high roll to win the game. You want to build a core deck that can win anyway, and have Mufasa be a sticky target that can close out games.
Yep, it's just to counteract the Be Prepared decks. You know, anytime your opponent's going to wipe your board, like, that feels bad. But if you're leaving behind residual pieces, it makes the Be Prepared less valuable, especially when you're getting off to a lore advantage so early in the game. Now, next,
and on the note of a Be Prepared, there's one coming down now.
Next set, we get a super interesting card.
Are you bringing up Ursula, my favorite upcoming card of next set?
No, I'm actually not. So there is a 1-drop next set that is an 0-1 that quests for 2, and when it is challenged, your opponent discards a card. So it's a 1-drop.
Wait, where is this?
I don't know if it's officially been released yet.
Oh. Leaked.
Yeah, there may or may not have been a leak, like, around the release of set 2 that had set 3.
Oh, I completely forgot about those cards. Yeah, let's not bring attention to it until it's been officially released.
Yeah, just bleep that part out.
It's a live stream. I can't bleep it. But please, guys, Ravensburger have spent a lot of work developing the game, and the marketing team around designing a specific announcement schedule. Please don't go searching for leaks. It devalues all of their efforts, and will take away your hype from the game.
All traces have been removed now.
Yeah.
So you can't find it even if you look for it. They've been removed.
Good. All right,
I have a hard time differentiating between what I've seen and what they've released so far.
Yeah, that's true. I had the same issue, which I think the month break from Lorcana and content back in December to be around family helped me wipe my brain of that leak.
That's fair.
Okay, so we have, I think this is game 3, right, of Zephyr versus Cormier, an absolutely insane board, but with no cards left in hand. So I think Cormier could come back from this.
B-prep, and he just has 5 characters in play.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. You can go wide so quickly. But unless they top deck a whole new world, or a emo beast, we don't have any card draw on Zephyr's side, and we have quite a few removal tools on Cormier's side.
Yeah, I mean, you do see here that this Maui is going to just get an insane amount of value on this board.
I think our only concern, though, is that we're 2 turns away from reaching the 11 ink needed for a Tremaine plus Maui turn.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Cormier has inked yet this turn. If he has, I would love to see a. Okay, so he hasn't inked. I would have liked to have seen a Maui there take out the Benja. You play the
Hmm.
mini and just turn Ursula sideways and say that this Maui and this Tremaine in my hand are going to continue to trade with your board over the course of the next 2 turns, and I have 2 big threats that you're not going to be able to deal with. Steel has a very, very hard time of dealing with Ursula as she's a 2/8, and Mini being the fact that it is evasive. Um, you know, just a guaranteed 5 every single turn. I think is nothing to scoff at. And he's opting to take out the singer here.
I think this is a valid play too, though, because it's quite scary to try and race with one, now 2 flutes on the board. Like, if they top deck a song, that could hurt your calculations for racing lore, rather than just fully controlling the board.
Right. And I'm by no means a red-purple expert in any way, shape, or form. That's just a line that I would have taken, and I don't necessarily know that either of those lines are incorrect, because I don't know the matchup well enough.
Yeah. Well, either way, we do have an exciting game going on. It's really coming down neck and neck. I believe it's game 3. Let's see what happens.
There's the friends. So let's see. Dragon will be able to take out one of these Benjas. Maui can take out the other Benja and just leave him with a Herc in play.
We always should have been playing Rabbit first, though, right? Just to see what we draw for ink.
Yeah, you always want and this is for any type of draw instance that you have. You should always draw first. Additional information to make sure that you're making the correct play. So he is opting to take the Hercules out. I'm assuming due to the shift line being in Zuffa's deck. I think he values.
They top decked the whole new world. This is insane. Oh, but I mean, luckily, we do still have a massive board with a lot of lore. If we have just enough cards, maybe? Oh! But unfortunately, the only removal we've got is Be Prepared, which would get rid of our current board advantage. And
I think
they
he
have access
needed
to
to
songs.
wheel into another flute there. I think he needed to wheel into another flute there because he could have gone up to 17. He's got, another song in hand. He would have been able to just win next turn. I mean, that was difficult. Like, he was in a really bad spot because you're behind on board. You're giving your opponent 7 new resources.
I mean, we don't even know if we have what it takes to deal with this board. I mean, we can sing Rabbit for friends on the other side to look for a way to remove the Benja.
He may have to end up Be Preparing his own board.
Okay, goes for the sing. Finds the
There
Tremaine!
It is, he found the Tremaine!
Oh, that's insane!
No! Not like this.
Wow, that... Ruby Amethyst, time and time again, all they need to do is top deck into the exact answer that solves their problems. And with the amount of draw they have, it's so likely that they can top deck into that. Oh. That's painful for Zephyr. So close, but so far. It means Ruby Amethyst in finals against Green Fossa.
This is Green Fossa Ruby Amethyst finals?
Oh, let's go. We might get a Green Fossa W.
I will say he's going to have to do the unthinkable. He's going to have to go up against the best deck in the format all 3 rounds of top 8.
Yeah. That's pretty insane. Do you know where the deck lists were posted so I can give it to someone in chat?
Yeah, it was back.
Yeah, I mean, the matchup block in that is just crazy, right? To go up against the deck you counter, or all 3 of the decks you count. Like, there were only, I think, 3 Ruby Amethyst in the top 8, and he went up against all 3.
Wow, that Lady Tremaine draw. That was just insane.
Just wild.
He needed to find like the flute there. Oh, it looks like Zephyr is saying that he ended up sending 2 flutes to the bottom with Ariel. That's unfortunate.
Oh, that's something you don't see from this otherwise omnivision caster vision observer gameplay. I can't speak today. My brain's too fried. In a long tournament weekend, I think streaming for 10 hours has an effect on human beings.
Yesterday?
Yeah, because I went all the way to a 5-3 drop.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it has an effect on the human brain that we are yet to discover. And let me tell you, it ain't good. But that is Green Faster in the finals versus Ruby Amethyst. Oh, my adrenaline is pumping.
Wow. I feel bad for Zephyr. That was so unfortunate.
I mean, that's card games at the end of the day. You're going to get some variance, but especially at this high level of gameplay with both players playing optimally and with very, very well-tested and engineered decks, it can come down to just a few unlucky draws.
Yeah, I mean, Tremaine is just one of those cards. Like, you just keep giving red all of these, like, amazing characters that get around all of the things that are, like... So, when you think about Cusco having Ward against a color pairing that is all about spot removal, getting removal that doesn't spot is just absolutely insane to me from a design perspective. Like, just getting around an entire game mechanic, I don't know.
I mean, you can see why Steel and Ruby are the best pairings, right? Steel solves themselves defensively, and then Ruby solves itself offensively. Like, it covers its gaps by just releasing cards that cover angles it couldn't cover before, that were previous countered.
So, like, my team was talking the other day, and they wanted to know what everyone's top 5 cards out of Rise of the Floodborn are. So I thought pretty long and hard about it, and it's actually kind of funny, and you'll see why it's funny. So my number 1 card was Beast Tragic Hero. I think it's easily the best card in the set.
Oh yeah.
My second card was Goat, because I think Goat is just absurd.
It's insane.
My third card was Madame Mim Fox.
Yep.
My fourth card was Lady Tremaine.
I mean, Cogsworth, surely.
No, my fifth card is actually Rabbit. So when you think about Red Purple is playing 4 out of 5 of the best cards in set 2.
Yep. that's something. Yeah, we had a 6th slot for Cogsworth though, because it's my favorite card from the set.
So while I love Cogsworth, I don't think it's one of the best cards in the set. It's probably in the top 10. Like there was also some honorable considerations. Popsicle, Haram Flaversham, I think are 2 incredible cards. I do think Cogsworth probably makes the top 10 list.
What if we did like the best at each ink? Like Popsicle, the best 1-drop.
Oh, like each ink cost?
Each ink cost. Sorry. Yeah, each cost.
Yeah, Popsicle is definitely number 1. Number 2-drop. Probably Teeth and Ambitions?
Yeah.
Or
I think that makes sense.
I think Snake might be better than Teeth and Ambitions.
I feel like they go hand in hand though, because Teeth and Ambitions is so good because Snake exists and can remove the damage and bounce it back to hand.
Snake is just good because Snake though.
That's true, because you can re-exert and you can recycle on plays. Yeah, you're right. You don't need Teeth to make Snake good. Yeah, Snake's probably second. I mean, free cost, that's competitive. What do you put as the best for free cost?
Fox.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, maybe it's just Fox.
It's just Fox. Goat is 4 with Rabbit like close behind. Beast is the best 5-drop. Tremaine's the best 6-drop.
Be Prepared isn't set to, but if it were...
No. I'm trying to think, did we get any relevant 7-drops? Definitely not Cobra Bubbles. Definitely
Yeah,
not King Louie.
I can't think.
It's probably Cinderella Stouthearted.
Oh, yeah,
Probably
yeah,
the
yeah.
7-drop. And
8?
I don't think there are any 8s.
Are there not? No 8s or 9s
No, I don't
from
think
set
there's
2?
any 8s. We do have a 9, but there's only one 9, and it's the 1010 Goofy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the 1010 Goofy is quite underwhelming compared to last set's 9-drop, right?
Yeah. Somebody said that 1010 Goofy should have been a shift for 5, and I was like, what do you mean it should have been a shift for 5? Are you kidding me? That card be busted as a shift for 5.
Shift for 6 or 7 at least, sheesh.
Shifting that card in general, like, just here, surprise 1010 that quest for 4? That'd be absurd.
Okay, at least if it shifts on 7, though, it's immediately answered by Be Prepared.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they're looking over
The Green Fossa deck. I want to hear what they're saying.
So he's pretty freaking strong. Even though the biggest
Alright, we got it here first from Taya. Pretty frickin' strong, Mufasa is. That is the evaluation, and I'd have to agree. The ratios I'm interested in, though. Free Mad Hatter, free Kuzco. When I played a Emerald Amethyst list, I preferred a 4-2 ratio, because I much rather top deck a Kuzco or Mufasa a Kuzco than a Mad Hatter.
Well, so something to consider, he's got 3, 6, he's only got 10 uninkables, so he's lowered the uninkable count to make sure that he's not running into too many situations where he's missing some of those crucial ink drops like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I think 4-2. The only change I'd make immediately to this list is 4-2. 4-2 Kuzco.
Yeah, I like this list.
Yeah, it's solid. I think
Peter
dropping
Pan.
the 7 makes sense to
That's
me.
the only thing
like.
I'm not 100% sold on is Peter Pan.
I think you don't need 4 Peter Pan. Because I don't like Peter Pan outside of the mini counter, so it feels like something you only need 2 of.
I'm going to pull up. I want to see what other 3-drops, since we're not running Pain Panic.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some water before the next set, so give me a second. And so we don't get ads during the game, as I saw people got hit with an ad, I'm gonna send you guys to an ad break now. Oh wait, no I'm not, because on the live, you guys are still in a game. I will not send you to an ad break yet.
So, instead of Peter Pan, some considerations. Piglet, 2/4, quest for 2. Maximus is an interesting one. Mr. Smee is a good Rapunzel target. There's also just Jasper. Yeah, there's not a lot on 3. Did you mute yourself again? Hello? Can you hear me?
I think the name of the tournament is like... what is the name of the tournament again? It's like Beast, Return of the Mim, or something?
For this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even sure. I didn't know it had a specific name.
Someone in YouTube chat asked. I think it's Beast, Return of the Mim. Oh, we got game 1 up.
Wah wah wee wah.
Oh, I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am so incredibly ready for this game.
Absolutely stoked, mate. I've got my water. I'm ready to go.
Low battery. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Well. My headphones.
Okay, so what do we think of a mulligan here? I feel like you always mulligan away the uninkables, and then you just try and hit the 1-2-3 curve, don't you? So we'd be looking for a 1-drop here. Maybe drop the Peter... Would you keep the Peter Pan or keep the Dock? I think keeping the Dock to ramp into a 5 cost is probably better.
Yeah, I probably put back the Peter Pan since we already have our turn 3 play lined up. Not having a 1-drop here and being on the draw is a little bit rough.
Our opponent doesn't have a 1-drop either.
Yeah, I mean, he's just looking for Maui Foxes. He doesn't have Fox. He doesn't have a 1-drop. So it looks like we're going to be off to a little bit slower game plan here. And with the amount of evasives in Uzma Kappa's hand, these Mauis are just not going to do anything relevant.
Which is an absolutely amazing sign for our green faster player who's on the draw, might be able to actually claw some tempo back. Oh, that's beautiful.
No, don't ink the Tinker. I'm keeping every one of these evasives in this matchup.
Yeah, I think inking the second Simba makes more sense here, because we only need the Dock to hit once, and then we're at the ink level we need.
Right. Yeah, I think that in this matchup specifically, your evasives are so incredibly important because they just turn sideways for free every single turn.
Okay, inking the Queen makes sense to me. Not going to be that helpful in this matchup.
Get your Dock online. So here's the other thing. Since we're going so quickly and we're so far away from a Tremaine or a Be Prepared, how do you feel about just powering out this Ray here?
I love powering out the Ray. I think they have no form of removal for it immediately. If the Dock survives, if either the Dock or the Simba survived and then we powered out the Ray, we would just never quest with one of them and leave it as fodder once we hit the Tremaine turns and keep Ray as a threat.
So this Dock is probably going to get eaten up by a Maui. Pretty heads up play from Cormier to 2-for-1 himself to take out the Simba, which would have protected the Dock.
And I think that, I think that makes a lot of sense.
I'd like to see Ray come down here and then Mufasa to come out next turn. But he's going to opt for Cusco instead.
I feel like
he's going to get to trade into 2 characters. Cusco's one of those cards. I want it down post Be Prepared.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I think it's a mistake to have it come down now when we have like 2 turns of no Be Prepared value we could have been benefiting from. And if we're worried about the Tremaine, we should have put down the Mufasa instead.
So he's opting for Ray here instead of Mufasa. So this Ray, he's looking at it as 3 damage because he has to know that a Be Prepared is likely going to end up happening, especially with his opponent drawing 2 cards here.
Now they just get to Tremaine.
Yeah. He's going to have to commit the Mufasa and hope that his opponent, force his opponent to play the Be Prepared. and then he'll at least have. No, the double Tremaine. I don't know. This is looking pretty grim.
I think the Kuzco was just such a mistake.
Yeah, I think it should have been the Ray, because this Maui wouldn't have got to trade 2.
I think he's lost the fundamentals that he was playing correctly in the previous rounds.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to change the matchup. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Now he can just cast second Tremaine here. Likely use the Lady Tremaine to deal with whatever ends up flipping. Oh, he's gonna shift.
What?
Is he gonna shift and then
and then bounce it
back both the Tremaines?
Yeah, so then they can clear whatever comes out. Exerted.
Yeah.
And then
I don't
keep
think he needed to do that. I like splitting them.
I like splitting them for questing pressure, but I think this is really good mental damage of having a Tremaine lock on board. So next turn, as Green Faster, we can go 4+2 to play around the Tremaine.
Yeah, your opponent casting 4 Tremaines off of 2 Tremaines, though, never feels good.
No, definitely not. How do we feel about inking the dock over Simba?
Honestly, at this point, I think it's negligible.
Yeah. Oh, and there's the second to be prepared.
Yeah, it's not like this. Not like this.
God, this game would be so different if we went Ray, Mufasa, they be prepared. We play Kuzco post be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, even with the Cusco post be prepared, like, he still had the Tremaines.
Yeah.
Tremaine's just such a silly card.
It's so stupid.
So good. It's so stupid.
I don't normally point out viewer counts, but I think it's pretty... I don't normally point out viewer counts, but we're at a funny number. We're at 69 on the YouTube.
Yeah, another Tremaine.
Yeah, this is just game over. Yeah, this is...
Who's the aggro deck here?
Right? Yeah, they still are holding 2 B prepared's in hand, and that's game 1 to Cormier, the Ruby Amethyst player.
So hopefully, on the play, Uzma should be able to get this game easily. I feel as long as he makes the correct mulligan choices and recognizes that his decisioning in game 1 was a little off, he still has the capability of winning on the draw against this deck. I think that the Cusco there was the worst of the 3 options to select. I think that it likely should have been the Ray. The Ray would have gotten in for at least 6. I even wouldn't have been mad at the Mufasa, but instead of playing the Cusco and then playing the Ray, I would have played Ray and then the Mufasa.
No, I actually think Mufasa's strictly worse over Ray, because you're sort of taking away what makes Mufasa good, which is playing it.
I agree.
A turn before be prepared.
I agree, but I still think playing the Mufasa was better than playing the Cusco there.
Oh, no, I agree, yeah. I guess I wasn't thinking about ranking it, I was just going, bad play, good play, you know?
Yeah. You're 100% correct. I think if you had to rank it, it was Ray, Mufasa, Cusco.
Yeah, and we went in almost the exact reverse order.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
What kind of threats are you looking at keeping here? Like, I feel like we've already got the 1 and the 2 drop. Straddling the line and keeping the Kuzco and Genie as really strong cards. We want to search for ramp, though, don't we? Like, we need to get rid of these Peter Pans, and then we can't risk drawing more uninkables.
1 drop, 2 drop, and getting rid of the rest.
Yeah,
1 drop, 2 drop, bye to the rest. Like, I don't even want Shift Queen in this matchup, honestly. Like,
wait, why are we keeping both Peter Pans?
I don't have an answer for you. We don't have Doc, we don't have Mufasa, we don't have Ray, we don't have Cusco, we don't have Mad Hatter.
We're on the play. We don't... We don't need the mini counter. We just outspeed them.
Wow,
Even if we
6.
Even if we needed a mini counter, we didn't need 2 of them. I think this is what makes Lorcana really exciting, though, right? Because of the mulligan and what cards you ink has to be the most in-depth part about this game. Like, there's so much to learn and so much to master, and there definitely is not a single player that has mastered it yet.
No, not at all.
I mean, this is still a pretty decent line. We can shift into queen on 3 if we want to.
Yeah, I just don't think that that's something I would have kept in the hand to begin with, because this is not the matchup for queen, specifically because of snake and fox.
Yeah. You're just not going to get many options to trade. Like, queen's the sort of... You want queen on the board for a mirror, or like another aggro deck, or, you know, maybe a steel deck that has high health units.
I'm still hoping for green fossa here, but I'm just not understanding some of the decisioning.
Maybe it comes down to pressure. We saw them play like almost perfectly in the previous 2 rounds. Maybe they're getting in their head because this is the finals.
Could be. I mean, the finals is, you know, making top 8 is one thing. Once you get to the finals and you know that everything is on the line and you're sitting there looking at, you know, the potential to make a pretty good chunk of change on something that cost you nothing but time.
Yeah.
You know, that's where people choke.
Oh, and don't forget the glory. Like, this is going in with a deck that is not considered meta whatsoever.
No, not at all. This is unusual, most people would consider. So he's opting to use this Peter Pan to trade into the snake, which I do like this.
Yeah, I like this play. But it feels like the
Very
play...
inefficient, though.
It feels like a play that we forced ourselves into doing that we didn't have to if we mulliganed better.
Yeah. It's very ink inefficient, too, on 4. You know, only using 2 of your ink I don't think is very good.
Come on, draw an unink! Yes! Ink choke!
Yes! Okay.
Come on, green fuzzer!
There's a chance. There's a chance.
Okay, we have to get the dock out on board, right? To ramp into the genie.
Yeah. You also still just, like, need another inkable, though. If you draw an unink, you're still not playing the genie.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm turning this queen sideways. I'm not giving him the opportunity to draw off of either of these.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Oh, this is so good. And then
Another unink! Oh, it's happening!
And once we see them not ink again, then Green Fosser knows as long as we only quest with a vase... Oh, but the problem is we're gonna have to turn dock sideways at some point. So they're gonna get 1 draw off for Kuzco for turning dock sideways. Oh, but they can... Oh, but if they bounce the Merlin back to hand... what if they bounce the Kuzco? Bounce the Kuzco back to hand.
Then you give him an ink. Then you give him an
true.
Because it is inkable.
Hmm.
Bouncing the... Oh, no. He played Tinkerbell. Okay. So he's just gonna go for the evasive plan. Just turn the evasive sideways.
I think this is fine, since we know they're locked. I don't know if I...
Wait, he's turning queen sideways.
What?
Why is he letting him draw?
Oh, no. If you were gonna let him draw, just go into Genie. Okay, wait. Let's think about this. We're 2 turns away from Tremaine. We're 3 turns away from Be Prepared. This isn't the worst.
No, I mean, he still just has a ton of pressure in play.
Yeah. Like, the draw only helps so much at this point.
Inking like 3 goats here is like not where red purple wants to be. So we got 2,
really
3,
not.
4, 5, 6.
Okay, and we got an inkable. We can tap into the genie. We can bounce a Kuzco or a Maleficent back to hand. Yeah, this is
it
GG.
Doesn't matter. You just bounce one of them. You probably just bounce the Maleficent, make the most ink inefficiency for him. Wow. Red purple bricking on Inkables.
Ooh, okay, and we're going into, was it game
Wait,
3?
he didn't cast the genie.
What?
He just didn't cast the genie.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just saying that, like, okay, Tinkerbell Peter Pan just wins me the game.
No, we win. Tremaine,
Yeah,
Doc,
we still win.
we quest, yeah.
Yeah, we still win.
But that's wild. Why didn't they play it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think we don't win. He did have the teeth.
Wait, why didn't we play Genie? Oh, we have Cusco for post be prepared. We just play the Hades. We play the Hades. We quest with Tinkerbell. We get something. We get Tremaine fodder back on board. The only thing that scares us right now is like, be prepared, Elsa. What? Stop!
Oh, no.
Play around the be prepared this turn, not last turn. Oh, what are we doing? Cusco counters Elsa and Maleficent Dragon. Okay, he got the Cusco back to hand at least. Oh
but
my.
now, see, here's the problem. Like, now you're giving him another Tremaine. Like the Cusco is going to like. The Cusco is gonna force. Oh, this is so bad.
Oh my god, the game was won if he just played that genie.
Plays the Tinkerbell, okay. Don't quest! Don't quest! You know he has the Tremaine! What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Why would you quest there? Force him to play one of the beeper. I don't know. I feel like this game he has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
Uzma, please. Take your time with your turns. You don't need to rush. There's no timers. Timers are turned off in this tournament. A slow play. Think about your moves.
Slow down. You don't want to give him either of those cards.
Oh, this is painful.
It's just an Elsa.
No, it's just bounce Tremaine. Jeez.
The sequencing of this game has made me so sad.
What? Surely you just played 1+2 drop? Save Cusco for post be prepared.
Yeah, I think I likely would have just like played the Stitch and the Flynn and said, show me be prepared.
You need the Cusco to counter Maleficent Dragon and Elsa. Do it after the be prepared, man. Oh.
My heart rate's through the roof right now.
The Green Fossa dream, please. Elsa.
Now he just Elsa's and then gets to quest for 3 again and then be prepared and
Sing be prepared as well. They can sing be Elsa, sing be prepared, play Ursula.
I mean, so here's the thing. Like, Cormier has to close this game out because he only has so many ways to clear Uzma Kappa's board, and he has to do it every single turn. He's at 19. If anything ever lives, the game is over. So, like, he has to either Elsa or be prepared here. If he be prepared, he can draw 2 more cards.
Wait, he just went for the hard cast Be Prepared instead of the Elsa.
Yeah, because he gets to draw 2 cards to like try. He knows that he needs to do something every single turn to answer his opponent's
Evasive is good. Evasive is good because we can't clear the Tink after the Elsa.
So here's the issue. Like, he goes Elsa here, locks it down for a turn, also plays Mini. He can then next turn quest for 5/14. That's not enough.
Yeah, because it goes plus 10. Yeah, they can get to 19.
There's still a chance. Like I said, Cormier has to answer every single card he plays every single turn. But
they didn't play the Mini.
So you have to Elsa. Okay.
Wait, we just got more time. Oh, it's still 3 turns. It's plus 12.
Yeah, just play the dock. Play the dock. You've already seen 3 Be Prepareds.
Play it. Just play it. Just play it. Oh, no!
What? Why are you,
oh, stop!
Tremaine? Oh my god.
Oh, don't draw the Tremaine. Don't top deck it. Don't. Oh. Oh my god. Oh.
3, 4,
oh my
5.
R&B. You
Brother.
gotta DM this man the VOD after this game. You gotta DM this man the VOD after this game.
No, I'm just gonna offer him a free coaching session.
Yeah, please, free coaching session.
He could have won this game like 6 turns ago.
Oh my god. Okay, I want to clarify for all the viewers that there is no amount of pressure that amounts in the sphere of Lorcana. This is the most high intensity game that has ever happened. Like, people make dumb mistakes at this sort of pressure if they're not used to playing at this sort of pressure. That's the cool thing about accessible tournaments like online tournaments. People who aren't used to playing in tournaments get the opportunity to play and to play in these extreme environments. If you were up here, I assure you, you'd be making dumb decisions too.
I don't have answers. I don't have answers. We've seen such tight play out of him the last 2 games last 2 rounds that these last 2 games that we've watched, like, the only thing I can chalk it up to is just like final stage fright.
Yeah,
like,
I hope he just slows down.
Do it too.
He just needs to slow down.
Like, somebody message this man and be like, "Hey, slow down. Just slow down. There's no time limit. Just slow down." So we don't have a dock here. Really awkward curve too. Like, we have a 1-drop, 2-drop, and then we don't do anything on 3. You could shift stitch on 4.
I wasn't focusing on the mulligan. What did we keep? Did we keep like
the
Rapunzel
one card
and
that I've
Mufasa?
noticed has gotten absolutely 0 value in any of these games?
Rapunzel?
Rapunzel.
Yeah, I honestly, I think in Pain and Panic, Rapunzel works. Yeah. Do you think that because we're on the draw, we are significantly less likely to win against Ruby Amethyst?
That's because my headphones died.
Oh. Alright, well, we'll wait for R&B to get back here. Ruby Amethyst has a pretty decent curve. They don't mind just going a 1 into 1, or maybe even skipping a turn 2 if they feel like they don't need it. There is the teeth. Absolutely amazing for Ruby Amethyst. They're going to be able to clear the 1-drop while keeping the mini alive to still bounce with Fox on free. Okay, there goes the Stitch. We can play a Simba on 2. Simba can still get cleared by Fox. We still don't have a free drop to play on free, which is worrying. Ruby Amethyst gets the mini back to hand to be able to ink next turn and go to Merlin Rabbit on 4. Maui on 5. Not much of a curve yet, but they still have the 6 drops. If Green Faster can find some evasives, but we've missed the free drop. This is looking really bad. Missing a free drop into Ruby Amethyst is not something you want, especially on the draw. That's so much tempo lost. I mean, all we're going to be able to play on 4 is a Rapunzel because we've lost the Stitch for Shift Rockstar. And the Rapunzel can just get cleared in one shot by the Maui.
Sorry, the other headphones just died. They just died.
Yeah, no worries. I kept the cast going.
Red Purple's off to a lore lead here. That's never where you want to be.
Yeah, and we missed our turn 3 play as well.
Now we're playing off cycle. We played a 3-drop on 4. Play a goat. Yep.
I mean, now Ruby Amethyst is on the play. They feel like the aggro deck.
Play the Ray. Don't
play Cusco again. Don't make the same mistake you made last time. Please play the Ray and get 6 more. Oh, thank God.
I would have inked the Mufasa there. Well, we might run into another uninkability problem out of the red-purple player.
I sure hope so.
And I totally don't have every single one of my fingers and toes crossed right now.
Please, please, please. Oh, good. Mufasa
okay, another
comes
Mufasa,
down.
Another Mufasa.
Nice. This is the line we wanted to see.
Quest for 4. Yep. This is... All right, no inkable.
Oh, they got it.
No inkable. They got it.
100%.
But we still get a residual piece with the Mufasa. Hopefully it's like a Mad Hatter.
Oh, yeah,
Or
just
Cusco,
something
or
big,
a Ray.
something insane.
Just something that quests for 3.
Oh! They're going for the Sing, Be Prepared into Elsa. They
1,
get
2,
another
3.
Be Prepared off the rip.
Well, I mean, he just has 6 in play with a goat. Would it be heads up here
bounce
for
for
Genie to
Ursula?
just bounce the Ursula?
Oh, that's good. That's really good. So you force them to not get the tempo swing. I like this play.
So the issue here is that goat can now run into Mufasa and he can be prepared whatever's flipped.
Yeah. Would you have not quested with Mufasa, just expecting the Be Prepared?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I want
think
the residual piece after the Be Prepared.
Yeah, because normally with Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, I would quest with Mufasa, then Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo back it onto the board so it can't.
I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
I think that's another minor error that they needed to account for. Just keep the pressure with their evasives. Like they were winning the law battle. He didn't need to quest with Mufasa. Another Mufasa? Oh, it would have been such a good rip too!
I mean, Genie's not bad. I just bounce my own Ray.
Oh, true.
Just bounce your own Ray.
Come on. See the line.
Bounce your own
See
Ray.
the line. Oh.
He bounces the Genie. I mean, I don't hate that, but...
No, but Ray's better because it's a free turn.
Yeah.
Oh, if they just hadn't quested with the Mufasa.
Red Purple goes to 14.
I mean, I think this is what we mean, right? When this deck has a lot of nuance, you have to be playing it tight.
Play Mufasa.
I almost think Elsa, a Ruby
Yeah.
Amethyst player. Yeah,
He's gonna go Ursula.
Because Elsa can then exert Mufasa, trade into the Mufasa, and then be prepared if it needs to.
Yeah, I mean he has to develop the Olaf to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
I
this
mean
works.
he could also just like quest for 4 next turn, Elsa both of your targets.
Hmm.
Man, bouncing this Ursula over and over, giving him additional cards and losing a lore that is not where you want to be.
It's really not.
Yep, Elsa these 2 down. He's just a goat away from winning next turn.
And if we had that genie up on board the whole time, we might have been able to force a be prepared if we hadn't quested with Mufasa.
Okay, so man, these uninkables in his hand are rough. Like if we could have went Mufasa Simba here, like there's maybe a chance. Yeah, he's just gonna get to sing Be Prepared and cast Ursula again next turn, and it's pretty much over from there.
It's all over now. Yeah, I feel like getting the Simba on board here makes sense, just so you can protect the Mufasa from getting cleared.
Red purple is just they're too high of a lower lead. He inks the Mufasa. I don't even understand that. What are you like? He's just gonna go wide, thinking he doesn't have another B
second B prep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. As much as I don't want it to be over, I think it's over.
Oh god, this was fumbled. This could have been a win. You hate to see it.
So let me think here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So he does quest. Fox back the Elsa, replay Elsa. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, if he would have B prepped, that would have hit a Ray. If he would have B prepped that turn, it would have hit a Ray.
Yeah.
If he...
It wouldn't have been enough, because he would have just sung B prep, play Ursula.
Well, he quested with the Elsa, so, like, if he just...
Oh, true, because he would have been at 16.
Right. Like, if there was a chance that he didn't quest with the Elsa there... No, it still would have been...
I mean,
he would have taken, like, a really, really bad line. Like
the pivotal moment was just questing with the Mufasa and letting it be traded into before the B prep. Like, I think that's just... That really changed the course of the game.
It did. I mean, so Green Fossa still making it to the finals shows that this deck can definitely get there. There may have been, you know, a little bit of spotlight stage fright out of Uzma Kappa because we did see him play very, very soundly in the first 2 rounds of top 8. Definitely some opportunity there to kind of tighten up some of those plays. I think that this was a winnable match.
For sure.
All 3 matches were winnable.
And I think, yeah, it's just, it's a tough one. Like, when you have hundreds of people watching your game, critiquing your gameplay, casters with, you know, what is essentially retrospective vision, right? Like, we do see both hands. We try our best to just do it from their perspective, but it's so difficult with the amount of pressure you have in these high intensity environments with everything on the line, a fair chunk of money, and all the glory. Yeah,
well, unsurprisingly, Red Purple wins yet another event.
Woohoo!
Yay!
But this has been the most diverse top 8 I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. People are already... Oh, man. That's. I mean, you could have delivered it a little bit differently. Somebody said such misplay.
Yeah.
2 and 3. Man.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to call it there. That was fun.
Yeah. It was super fun. I still think that the deck's very good. I think that there's absolutely a chance that it could have taken down this entire event. Like it did exactly what it's supposed to do, and it's attacked the red-purple matchup, and it had red-purple for all 3 rounds of top 8.
Well, it's been lovely casting with you, R&B. Thank you for coming on such short notice. I'm glad we got to see your baby make it to the finals and put a damn good dent in the meta. Once again, I believe you've been vindicated in your ideals of attacking the meta as an answer and not just falling in and succumbing to what people believe is the unequivocal best deck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Such kind words. You guys, one thing I will say, if you're not already subscribed to Alphos over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that plus button, turn them notifications on, and be ready for the next saucy build.
Because that's 2 in a row, baby! That's 2 top 2 decks that we've posted in a row. Can we make the 3rd?
We're gonna try.
We're gonna damn try. And
We're gonna try.
And you know what? No matter what, it will be spicy. If you got any sensitive taste buds, prepare them, pucker up, mate, because we're turning the Scoville scale to a mill. And that'll be all. Thanks for watching. Gonna try and expand on some more YouTube videos aside from just the deck profiles so I can get more than 1 video out a week. Gonna be streaming Lorcana more often. This weekend was a debut. Check out RMB on twitch.tv/r_m_b. Links will also be in the description. See ya. Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that, but also
That was fun.
that was painful.
I mean, it was painful watching that match.
Yeah.
That